London South Bank, as you say, are coming into this one, is if you're Brooksby and Leeds A after that initial scuffle, I wonder if you try and work together to try and get onto terms with that man there. Max O'Shaughnessy leads the race now by some 4 seconds. But no, this looks like they're battling away here. Lovely down the inside of Conway's there from Leeds, and that was a beautiful move. Does Lucas Sullivan in the Brooksby car have any response to that? Not for now. So now we'll see if Leeds can break the toe of Brooksby and get on up the road to try and challenge Max O'Shaughnessy of X to B.
Really lovely move there from the Leeds car. It's a difficult move to get done down the inside into Conway. He's got to make sure you've got a good run, because that is also a propensity for an ABC advantage by contact.
Lovely to see the grandstands packed, I have to say. I believe we're going out on Circuit Tannoy still, so hello to anyone if you can hear us around the circuit. But brilliant to see lots of friends and family who have turned out today to watch a little bit more BUKC action. You're very welcome along for the ride. And now look at how London South Bank have reeled in Brooksby for this third place battle. Lucas Sullivan is now going to have to start thinking about defending rather than attacking Kieran Harrison in the Leeds car. And there goes London South Bank. Beautiful move. That is where we saw Leeds attempt to get their side-by-side heading towards the S's, but indeed London South Bank stamps their authority, having the inside line, and they get themselves up into third place.
So now obviously London South Bank, a clubman team behind Kieran Harrison in the Leeds kart. So we have now got a fight for second and also a fight for the lead in the clubman teams. A few other little bits going on. We've got a good fight between Oxford Brooks D, also a clubman team. I believe they're actually leading the clubman. They've just overtaken the Premier team, Cambridge A, for 5th place, and got themselves a nice little gap there. We've also just seen the fastest lap of the race from Max O'Shaughnessy in the X to B kart, 46.7. So the track getting quicker, and he's also gone he's gone a 10th quicker than Leeds A. So it's going to take something quite spectacular, I think, at this rate for the Leeds A kart to overtake Exeter.
Fantastic battles going on as well in the lower part of the top 10, or the upper part, depending on how you want to read it. The sort of 9th place downwards into the teens. Really close battling going on there. The mid-pack, as ever, is fantastically frantic. I've just noticed they've also reprofiled that curb at Garda as well, haven't they? Albeit it's not a curb one uses very much until the last sort of 10% of that curb, but it's reprofiled nonetheless. There is the battle developing between the Brooks D kart, the number 19, and the number 14 of Cambridge A.
It's interesting as well, Harold. We've got Brooks D bearing down on Brooks B as clubman on Premier, and we're actually that's 3rd place in the clubman. So a very strong showing here from the clubman teams. What we like to see. We've got clubmans and Premiers mixed in. Brighton A as well, representing the clubman championship. They are in 7th place. They're a little bit of a way back on Cambridge A and Brooks D, but still very much in the fight. We just get the fast lap of the race from Loughborough B, as they set a 46.7. Having a look now at this fight, who are we looking at here? We've got, this is still Oxford Brooks D and Cambridge A. It's calmed down a little bit. The field's spreading out a little bit more. So we're in a little bit of a lull period at the moment, but there's still every chance that we will see more close action going further on into this race.
Good move from UEA on Coventry D to get themselves up into 11th. I can just see on timing there. Loughborough B have recently set the fastest lap of the race as well, 46.6. So everyone up in their pace a bit as they get to grips with the conditions. It was a little bit damp around certain parts of the circuit when we first arrived this morning, but there's no signs of that having any effect by this point, as there's a penalty for Brooks C for forcing another driver wide. That's actually, if Brooks are going to have a penalty, that's the lowest placed of the Brooks teams right now, but they don't want to pick up too many more of them. We're looking at the frantic battle from University of West of England A down, so the number 55 kart leading this train in 11th place, and chasing them we have Coventry D, Warwick A, De Montfort B, Nottingham Trent A and B. They're all in this mix, and this is what we love to see in the mid-pack of Club 100 with 11 minutes to go.
Absolutely, UEA getting a little bit of an advantage over the Birmingham C kart. Birmingham C obviously started in 3rd place, so they've, as we tend to see when a clubman team starts further up the grid, they've just been working their way back throughout the race. He's still, interesting though, the Birmingham C kart still in front of Archie Hobson, so that battle that was raging at the start still going on. Archie Hobson unable to get past for the moment. Looks like they're all just running line astern, clean racing at the moment. No major penalties to talk about, apart from the Oxford one for Oxford BUKC. Looks like that's a pretty decent battle as well, from about 18th down to about 24th place. So you're looking at what we're looking at there. We're seeing. Never mind about that. We'll cut back to the live stream. So we've got Archie Hobson still chasing the Coventry D car, and there's a penalty for Huddersfield B. Now they are down in 30th place, and it looks like, oh, hang on, and we've got a move done by the 17 of Nottingham Trent A. So Archie Hobson falling a little bit further behind. He's got a little bit of a gap to the next 3 karts behind, but this is obviously a very changing situation now. Heading through Pullman, a little bit of a slide there from the Birmingham C car, and now into paddock. Are we going to see Archie Hobson? He tried an overtake manoeuvre before, and there's actually a nice little dice here between Loughborough D and who is that? We have got Nottingham Trent B. So a decent fight here for sort of 16th, 17th and 18th place. Coming across for a new lap, we've got the 17 of Nottingham Trent A on the move. Sorry, that's Nottingham Trent B even. They're still very interested in the 95 of Coventry D. So still very decent battle here going on for 11th place. UEA just about getting a little bit of a gap now to the Birmingham C car. So they're relatively secure in 10th at the moment. We've just got under 10 minutes left of this race. Oh, a little bit of a kick there from the 73 of Loughborough D. We've got we go overtaking manoeuvre from Nottingham Trent A on Coventry D, and they now move up into 12th place, or have they? They are side by side now, coming through Cafe. I'm pretty sure that was Nottingham Trent A on the outside. Birmingham C getting away from it, but it is Nottingham Trent A who have got through. And Archie Hobson now making his way through on Coventry D as well. So the order now for 12th, 13th and 14th is Nottingham Trent A, Warwick A and Coventry D. But Coventry D not giving up this fight. They thought about a move into hairpin 2, but nothing going there for the moment. Archie Hobson giving the signal there, let's work together, let's try and hunt down these guys in front. Whether that's actually what's going to happen or not, whether the Coventry D driver actually understands what that signal means is another matter entirely. But it looks like UEA got a decent gap on Birmingham C, but you can imagine the Nottingham Trent A car will be closing in on them soon, as there is a mechanical flag. You don't see that very often in BUKC racing. You've got a mechanical flag for Bath B. Now, where are Bath B?
I think they're just coming out of Garda, mate, aren't they? What number are they?
Bath B, I cannot see them on the list. I think
they're number 53, and they've just gone past our comms position. They're definitely up to pace because they're challenging Swansea A for a position, or UWTSD B, excuse me, for a position, as there's a little bit of a nerf there. From Loughborough D on Coventry D, I think that was, into hairpin 2.
Yes, that would be. I think that's Loughborough D coming through on Coventry D, so we'll keep an eye on that one. We'll see what the stewards might have made of that one. Looks like possibly a harsh but fair move there from Loughborough D on Coventry D. Meanwhile, Nottingham Trent A have caught right up to the back of Birmingham C. So we'll see what happens with this one. A little bit of a gap now spreading out between that battle. The UEA car has sauntered off into the distance. Birmingham C running to the extreme track limits, running a bit wide there through 30s, and now heading into hairpin 1. What are we going to see from Nottingham Trent A? We're not going to see anything because we've cut away, and we're now looking at what we're looking at. We're looking at the fight for...
I think we're looking at the fight for 4th, aren't we? That was Brooks D. Excuse me, no, we're slightly further up, aren't we?
We're looking at the fight for 2nd place.
We are
Leeds
indeed.
A versus London South Bank A. We just see Max O'Shaughnessy there heading through Conways, coming up to lap the karts. This is a part of BUKC racing that, with the introduction of the new Rotax engines last year, we thought might disappear, but it definitely hasn't. Look, coming up to lapping karts. And it's something that every driver who is racing out the front has to be able to deal with, and deal with well. So this could be an opportunity for Michael Horton to get close to Kieran Harrison in the Leeds A car. We'll have to see how they negotiate the traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the challenge. You've got to get through cleanly and efficiently. It's one of the big pluses of the as they get by the 35 kart, which is Warwick B, running in 30th place. And Warwick B doesn't make that too difficult, although that's gone more the way of Kieran Harrison in that Leeds A kart. So Michael Houghton will have to get back onto the back of him. But this is part of the thing, the beauty of the BUKC, and good work there. That's one of the test karts, isn't it?
No, that's Bath B. Bath B, who came in for their mechanical flag.
Okay,
They are now... They've So where Michael Houghton got held up by Warwick B. And we're going to see an overtake here from Michael Houghton down the inside of hairpin 2. He's forced Kieran Harrison a little bit wide. Are we going to see it into the S's?
Brilliant drive.
Brilliant there from Kieran Harrison to defend round the outside of the first of the S's. So it's as you were, but the Bath B car coming out for the mechanical flag, really getting in the way of that fight. But fortunately, nothing too untoward has befallen our drivers at the front. So this fight for what is for the lead of the clubman class, second overall in the race. I think Max O'Shaughnessy has completely checked out up top. He's got a 4.7 second gap. So it is this fight for second place that we are most interested in now.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, leading in the lead in the clubman's class, Brooks D will be looking to, if they can, there's still time for them to catch up. If these two really start battling, you could see this become a three-way battle for the top three in clubman's. That's second, third and fourth overall. So look out for Brooks D on your timing towers to the left, or don't forget live.alphatiming.co.uk/BUKC to follow along, as the fastest lap of the race has just been set by De Montfort A, who are having a really good season so far. I think they're in 10th place in the championship, so they are doing well. Need to try and get up the order a bit more. Currently running in 16th, if they can at all, but having a good season so far. Max O'Shaughnessy, you're just seeing go through your shot. He's now got a lead of 4.5 seconds, and just this time round, Kieran Harrison's just bridged a bit of a gap to Michael Houghton in that 34 kart ahead of the 100 kart. So Michael's going to have to try and reel in the Leeds A kart again. He's still got plenty of time here, 4 minutes on the clock. 25-minute sprint races throughout the day here for the BUKC. For the first time ever, we should say, in a standard mains championship race event. We have 2 sprint events for you today, so if you are a sprint racing fan, it's all day long, as there's a track limits penalty for Bath B. They're already, of course, mostly out of it because of the mechanical that they had. There's Lucas Sullivan, his distinctive green and yellow helmet there, still running in in 5th place for Brooks B. He's effectively playing rear gunner for the Brooks D kart at the moment, I think, as they try and catch up to the lead battle within the clubman subclass.
Obviously, as mentioned earlier, we've got the lap karts getting in the way. I believe there's at least one in front of the Leeds A London South Bank fight. I think that was the 29 of Huddersfield B. So we'll wait to see what happens with that one. Well, the interesting thing about Brooks D and Brooks B is obviously Brooks B, the Premier team, the B team, now behind the D team that's also a clubman team as well. Yeah,
exactly that. As we're back with the battle over second, and Michael Houghton has really caught up here, Kieran Harrison. So the battle for second place is going to resume with 3 minutes left on the clock, as there's a nice battle going on that just went through shot there. I think that was Hertfordshire battling with Nottingham Trent C over 27th place. That was great battling throughout the field.
As mentioned, that was the Huddersfield B kart that was getting in the way of Leeds A and London South Bank. Caused this fight to come up again. No overtaking manoeuvre attempted there by Michael Houghton on this occasion. Maybe he's going to be plotting his next move, coming now down through the S's. No real opportunity through Simon Sweep and now into Pullman's, but definitely coming into Paddock and into Garda in particular. We might see something from the vastly experienced Michael Houghton, although it has to be said, he looks like he's just dropped back by a couple of attempts and just clips the curb on the way through. Actually, I genuinely had just realised that they're doing that curb as well, Howard. I hadn't picked up on that.
Yeah, exactly. They've been. It's always great to see the myriad of improvements they do around the circuit here at Buckmore Park. Very much a driver's favourite, this layout as well. Got to say, keep your eyes peeled on that left-hand timing tower as well. There are some amazing battles developing in the dying moments of this race amongst the teams. Birmingham C's having a cracking race. They started quite high up on the grid and they've been able to not go too far back, so they're set for a good result, but they've got De Montfort A and Coventry D bearing down on them. Rightfully so, though. We stick with this second place battle as they go through Simon Sweet, through Pullman's, and now through Paddock. Another group of traffic up ahead, which needs to be Michael Houghton needs to see as an opportunity. Hopefully that can break up. There's very often an advantage if you're the chasing kart if you come upon traffic, because the traffic maybe aren't so wise to the leaders coming through, and so that gives you an opportunity. Once they've had one kart go through, they're like, oh, the leaders are coming through. So very often you can gain an advantage there if you're the chasing kart in a battle as they are about to hit this traffic. Don't forget, though, this is not the lead overall. 5 seconds up the road from this, Max O'Shaughnessy still leads. He's been controlling this one from the start for X to B.
Yeah, it all depends, when it comes to back markers, it all depends on how much experience they have. I've noticed, I think it's the Okay, it's the 120 Club 100 test car. Okay, but
yeah, they really know what
they
they're
know. Well, if they didn't, then there would be something seriously wrong. So we are now following. What we're following the battle.
So this is the
seventh.
Brooks. Yes, sorry, apologies. You're absolutely right. Brooks A and Loughborough B have been having a fantastic race, setting fastest times fairly often. They don't currently hold the fastest lap. Oh no, sorry, they do. They do a 46.024. So that's really come down over the course of this race. As we're now on to the last lap. Max O'Shaughnessy, we've barely seen him, to be honest. He's been controlling this one so well. How is the second place battle going on? They're still at it. There is Max O'Shaughnessy then, coming through Syme Sweet now. He's controlled this one brilliantly for Exeter B. Exeter having a fantastic season already. This is going to be quite the result, though, for the B team. He just has to guide it round Garda now and through the Senna chicane and up the hill to Cafe. Who's going to come out on top, though, in the battle over second place? We're going to keep our eyes on the finish line. Max O'Shaughnessy takes the win for Exeter B to get round 3 kicked off. Leeds A and Kieran Harrison hold on for second by half a second ahead of Michael Houghton in the London South Bank A car for third. Fourth place is Oxford Brooks D. Brooks B finishing fifth. Sixth is Cambridge A. Loughborough B finish off a really strong race for them, driving up through the field in seventh. Brooks A have also had a good drive up through the field in eighth. Brighton A in ninth. And University of West of England A have had to battle hard to come home to round out the top 10.
Just a battle for Welsh supremacy going on this final lap. We've got Swansea versus Swansea Met, but Swansea Met B, I should say. But it looks like Swansea UWTSD B are going to finish in front of Swansea. So that's just a nice little battle. I just suddenly noticed out of the corner of my eye, but they have now crossed the line. Trinity David B. They've got about 3 names. I'm gonna use multiple throughout the day, and Swansea A in 25th.
Lovely stuff then. That was round 1 then. We've got 6 of those. Each team takes part in 4 out of the 6 races within this round. That doesn't necessarily mean each uni takes part in 4 races. If they've entered multiple teams, it could be that they've been allocated the races such that each uni features in every single race. It could be that way. The grids are randomly generated, but each team, individual team, will compete in 4 out of the 6 races. So if you're tuned in to support a particular team and they weren't in that race, don't worry. They're not all in every single race. But we've got that round of 6, and that's just one rotation. We've got the second round, round 4, this afternoon, which unusually for the BUKC follows the same format. That was race number 1 of round 3. I think let's try and head down to Jacob to get some drivers' thoughts after race 1 and also get the thoughts of the drivers on the grid ahead of race number 2.
We're coming. Hang on, wait there. Max. Think we are down on the grid with race winner Max O'Shaughnessy. Max, your first win in the BUKC?
Yeah, it was good fun. It was quite slippery, wasn't quite dry, which I think helped me out a bit. Starting at the front always helps, so yeah, good race.
Surprised this morning to see you demoted, as it were, to the B team. Anything to say to that?
I wasn't necessarily demoted, I was just taking Konstantinos' place because he wasn't there at PFI. So, I don't know, we'll see what happens.
All right, there was some decisions to be made in the Exeter camp. Who else have you got out for today? I know Big Jarves in the B team as well. High hopes for the Bs?
Johnston's out and so is Alex. It's looking good today, so I'm hoping you can have a good result.
Good to talk to you and congratulations on your first win.
Oh, thanks.
That was Max O'Shaughnessy, winner of lightweight race number 1. Next up is heavyweights race number 1. For heavyweights, otherwise you're looking at me thinking. Here we are then with heavyweights race number 1. Down here on the grid, we've got a couple of carts facing sideways. This is to stop them from rolling down the grid. And our pole position is, I believe, Oxford. So, inheriting pole position are Cambridge.
Yes. Hello.
Lucky you. What do you make of that? Your big rivals, as it were, not showing up and gifting you pole position.
Well, I think they're scared.
It could well be. They may have heard that you might be loading them on the grid. Is that why they haven't turned up?
Could be. You never know.
How's things looking for Cambridge anyway? I don't think we spoke much down at PFI, but how's the season going?
A, you're doing a good job so far, and B, you're plugging away at it still.
Plucking away at it still is code for not doing very well.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Can you right some wrongs today?
I hope so. Starting off pole, I've got certainly a good best starting position I could get.
All right, then. Well, all the best for that, and I'll speak to you after the race if you win.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cambridge University there. I've got someone, Max Reed, in and around me, not quite sure why. I'm going to squeeze in on the Exeter car. I know we've already spoken to half of Exeter today, and I'm going to slot in.
Sorry about that. We would appear to have lost Jacob on the grid. Very, very interesting. I've suddenly remembered that on the grid we saw that it was just Oxford. I had no idea that they haven't actually turned up, which is unfortunate. But yeah, they don't want to turn up. They don't want to turn up. So that's on them.
I think it's going to be a drop score for them on that one.
I've just got a feeling that it is going to be a drop score. It would be good actually if whilst we wait to try and get Jacob back. I think we might have him again.
We'd love to have him back. We always like his interviews down there, as I think we're good to cross back down to him.
I think we're back. Apologies for that. A few technical issues. I think it's the signal down here on the grid. Lots of bodies getting in the way of those radio waves, or what kind of waves they are. We're going to talk with Brian Stephenhouse down here. And what's this, about 7th or 8th? Pole position's not here, so you've moved up a row.
Have we?
Yes, Oxford University have dropped out today, so that man who should be on pole position is not going to be taking part. Therefore, you're on the 4th row, not the 5th.
That surprised me. I'm happy with that though. It's what, 7th place start then?
You can go home saying you've overtaken someone now.
Yeah, quite easily. But I'm already got my second race today is starting P2, so it won't be my highest place of the day, I don't think.
Got the experience of Sam Cobb in front of you here. Have you raced against him before in BUKC? Most people have.
Yeah, probably a few times. I recognise the helmet.
Everyone recognises the helmet.
Yeah, it's probably come past me a few times. My biggest top in front though, Nathan, our president. So I'm going to be aiming for Nathan today.
I would go and have a chat with him, but we lost a bit of signal down there, so I'm going to have to go further back the grid, unfortunately. What's at stake, though, between you and Nathan? Does someone have to buy the McDonald's on the way home?
No, not tonight. Probably used to be a pint on the way back, or when we get back into Brighton.
Yeah, not while you're driving.
Not whilst driving, no drink and drive here.
All right, well, all the best for that, and I shall speak to you after the race.
Cheers, Jacob.
Stephen Howes there of Brighton B squaring off against his captain. We are going to jump in with the Leeds team, and we've got Mr. Jack Fisher. Jack, good start for the day. I think it was Kieran, was that, in first race?
I think he was second, yeah, so a decent start for us. We're looking for a round win here for Clubman's.
Was he eligible this time, Kieran?
He was. We made sure he was weighed up to 77.5 this time, so not a chance of him being under.
Better to be safe than sorry, as he was at PFI. How about yourself? How are you looking for this one?
I'm excited for it. There's a lot of quick guys I've seen in this session, so I'm going to try and keep it on track in the first lap and see where I end up and then push from there. So,
what's a short lad like you doing in heavyweights?
We've got two skinnier lads than me, so I'm having to put about 13 kilos on to get up to here, but it'd be more if it was the other lads. So.
The joys of being young.
Yep.
Jack, all the best. I shall speak to you later.
Cheers.
Jack Fisher there. Oh, I've caught myself on the radiator. Never mind. Let's wander further back up the grid where there's a little bit more signal and see if we can find someone to have a chat with. Huddersfield are here, and we've got Kezia in the cart. Kezia, Huddersfield are missing a few drivers today. What's the story?
I think Stephen Letts had too much to carry in his shoulder, so he can't make it today. Watching this, then.
I've heard a rumour that he also found out that it was Embarrassing Car Crash Stories Day, and he totaled it on the entrance to PFI at one time.
Oh, yeah.
On the way to clear... Hang on. I'm going to have a quick chat with Aaron about this. He said teammates clear the grid, but stay for just this second. What's happened?
2 years ago when we went to Clay, he went round a roundabout the wrong way.
There you have it. Stephen Letts cannot drive to racetracks. Thank you, Aaron. I'm going to have a quick chat with Tom Fox just before we set off. Tom, reigning champions Coventry, first race out for them today. Can you set the standard?
Oh, who knows? Have you seen this grid? It's crazy.
Just noticed that Kyle's behind you. Any words of encouragement for him?
As long as he stays behind me, I'm fine. I don't mind. So.
All right, then I'm going to have a quick chat with him. Tom Fox, the reigning champions Coventry. Kyle Morby lining up for Oxford Brooks. Which one is it now, A?
Yes.
How are you looking, Kyle?
We'll find out in a minute.
Got champions Coventry in front of you. Have you raced Tom Fox before?
I must have done. I've been doing it so many years now. Yeah, I probably have.
Can you beat him?
I'll tell you in 25 minutes. Well, you'll know in 20.
No, I want to know now. We'll know in 25 minutes.
I'll say we'll go yes then. That's the answer you want.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. Jake O'Sullivan is over here. I'm going to jump in and talk to him for Birmingham. Jake, real quick, what are your chances in this race?
I mean, you can only really go forward, can't you, from this point?
You can go 5 places back, I reckon.
I'd like to think I don't end up back there, but history suggests I might, so hopefully let's not do that.
We're doing embarrassing car crash stories today on the stream. Anyone from Birmingham got any stories?
I've actually got a good one. My only car crash ever crashed into a World War II Nimrod.
Wow. Yeah. I'll have to get the full story from you later on because that's quite impressive. I'm being shoved off the grid. This will be the first of our heavyweight sprints. Howard James, back to the comms box.
Thank you, Jacob. That is an incredible... I don't want to say the word achievement. I hope everyone was all right, I guess. Anyway, let's talk you through the grid of this one then. Oxford are taking this one from pole, I believe. Yes, they are indeed, sorry. So it is... Sorry, you take us through that, mate. I'm going to check my sheets here because they don't match up.
Based on what I was understanding from Jacob there, I believe it's Cambridge B on pole, or it could be Coventry. We'll go. Well, you know what? We'll go from second downward. So second place, Coventry D. William.
Sorry, I just want to say I've worked out now. Oxford, because they haven't turned up.
Yeah.
Everyone's been bumped up, haven't they? There we go.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So it's Coventry D then starting on pole position with William Metcalf, and Cambridge B are second with Dominic Cousins. Exeter A, Mr. Karting himself, Konstantinos starting there in fourth place. Brighton A, Nathan Little in fifth, and Imperial A starting in fifth even with Louis Martin. Sixth place to Sam Cobb in the Cambridge A kart, and Nottingham A are in seventh. Now for the rest of the grid, 8th place for Brighton B and Stephen Howes, a very experienced driver, one who I've had the pleasure of racing many a time. Loughborough A in 9th with James Ireland, and it's Oxford Brooks B in 10th with Angus Fender. 11th place for Charlie Bennett in the Loughborough B kart, and it's James Bumay starting for Bath A in 12th place. 13th place Jack Fisher, still getting over his hangover from last night, and it's Warwick C in 14th with Edward Boswell. Sheffield A are in 15th with Jordan Mitchell. And we have the green-helmeted Rory Hudson starting in 16th place for Bournemouth A. Birmingham B starting in 17th with Ethan Herford, and it's Ewan Howes in the Trinity B kart starting in 19th. Starting 18th, sorry. Coventry B are 19th with Matas Grigalauskas, and 20th to Huddersfield B, Ben Hinchcliffe. Kingston A are 21st with Jack O'Toole, and it's Nottingham Trent A in 22nd with Scott Jeffs. Manchester Met A follow on in 23rd with Matthew Tomlinson, and in 25th we have the equally experienced and talented Thomas Fox in the Coventry A kart. Obviously he wasn't with the team last year for their championship win, but he will hopefully help them on this year as well. And it's Newcastle B, Adam Fleming in 25th place, and Kyle Morby in the Oxford Brooks A kart starting in 26th. Loughborough C are 27th with George Salthouse, and it's Queen Mary A in 28th, and Nathaniel Smadger starting for them. Jack O'Sullivan in the Birmingham A kart starting in 29th, and it's Tom Hamblin in 30th place. Aston A starting in 31st with Joshua Northall. And we have Trinity A, Ryan Davies starting there. It's an all-Welsh penultimate rows. We've got Swansea A, Jeremy Todd starting in 33rd. And rounding off the grid in 34th, it is Loughborough D. And if you were confused as to why I probably got some of the numbers wrong there and why the numbers didn't match up, it's because Oxford don't really like the BUKC anymore. They've decided to not turn up and confuse the absolute bejesus out of all of us. And you know what? Take that grid with a pinch of salt, because I'm pretty sure it's Cambridge B. It's Cambridge starting on pole position.
We will work it all out. And besides, it's about to change anyway. It's a BUKC sprint race. You are watching your Alpha Live stream of round 3 of the British Universities Karting Championship 2020. My name is Howard Mitchell with James Johnstone alongside me in the comms position. It's race 2. It's a heavyweight race. Now, if you weren't with us for PFI, this is a new aspect of the format in the BUKC this year. We're alternating between lightweight and heavyweight races across the sprint. So race number 1 was a lightweight race where they had to be weighted up to 75 kilos. This is a heavyweight race up to 85 kilos. So that's a new aspect to bear in mind. It does mean that there are drivers in this race, no doubt, who come in at under that. They've had to lead up their karts to comply with the rules. Don't forget that we're going out on Facebook and on YouTube, on the Alpha Live YouTube channel there, and live.alphatime.co.uk/BUKC if you've got a second screen available to look at the timings on that and follow along in even greater detail, as I think, James, we're good for a race start.
We are indeed. We're going to look for those green lights to go on, and here we are. We are racing for the first heavyweight race in BUKC history, and it looks like Cambridge B got a very good start there. No incidents to report so far. It is, in fact, Cambridge B leading away from Coventry D, although we have got a big incident coming out of Surtees. Looked like there was a car in the wall. Have both been able to get away?
Involved.
Have they been able to get away? Yes, it looks like they have. So actually, no, we've had a change for leadership now. It's Brighton A, out of nowhere, are now leading this race. We've got some hand gestures being waved at. Have we got a full start? No, it looks like we are all good for this race to continue.
Sorry, James, spinner in the S's as well. Moment there for the number 17 kart of Nottingham Trent A. Scott Jeffs facing the wrong way, now underway again. Not a nice place to spin though, but it is indeed Nathan Little who's got to the head of the field here for Brighton A. Fantastic stuff for them as they come round to finish lap number 1.
This has been a very messy first lap. There has been a lot of contact, much worse than the previous race, but it looks like we haven't had any major incidents as we saw on certain first laps last year. But oh my God, they are about 4 wide coming into hairpin 1. It's the BUKC, ladies and gentlemen. It's what we love to see. Contact warning for Brighton B. They are down. Where are they? I'm not entirely sure. I'm just sorry.
They're down in 6th place, mate, so they don't want to. They're on for a good result at the moment. They don't want to get too many of them.
I do not want to be accused of favouritism in any way, shape or form, but I can't help but notice that Jeremy Todd of the Swansea A kart has gone from 34th all the way up to 18th place. So a fantastic start there for the Swansea A team. A lot of argy-bargy heading now, coming into Garda. Big thing there. That looks like to be Jack O'Toole in the Kingston A kart. He looks to be having a go on James Bumay in the Bath A kart, although we will see what the live timing says as we cross the line. A couple of big movers here, all big faller down there is Imperial. Looks like they were also good number of karts wide heading into Conway. Coming out of Surtees. There's Thomas Fox in the number 1 car. Where has he climbed up? He's climbed up to 10th place. So very good start there. There's the James Bumay and Jack O'Toole fight going on. It looks like that is also the number 7 of Oxford Brooks A getting involved as well. I believe that was Carl Morby, wasn't it? He was starting down in very much near the back. So a lot of big movers on this first lap. I've just spotted the Swansea A kart as well heading through. They're having a fantastic start in this event. We've got, who's that? That is Sam Cobb, I believe, in the Cambridge kart, having himself a little battle there. So we've had a change of leadership as well. Exeter A now leading from Cambridge A. Brighton A falling down to 3rd place. So what are we going to see here? We've got a contact warning for Loughborough C. They are down in 21st place. And there's a move there from the number 9. That is Nottingham A. They have got a move done on Brighton A, forcing the Brighton driver over. He puts his hands up in disgust, but the move is now done.
Absolutely good stuff then. We've fallen into the equilibrium a little bit more now. They're not Noah's arcing it everywhere around the circuit, but look at this, the number 1 of Coventry A battling away with Loughborough A. This is not just a battle over 8th place on the road, it is the top 2 teams in the championship at the moment battling away there as they continue to file through onto another lap. It's Tom Fox at the wheel of that Coventry A kart with Loughborough A having James Ireland at the wheel.
Cambridge B are the car in the way at the moment as Thomas Fox sends it down the inside of hairpin 2. So Loughborough and Coventry getting through there. The fight for what is that? That's 13th place. Continues to rage on. James Bumay heading the field ahead of Jack O'Toole in the Kingston A car, although that might be different now. I'm not sure I saw his helmet on the camera here as we're back with the championship fight. It has to be said, this is a fight for the championship. Coventry A and Loughborough A, but we've swapped away from that as well. And now we've picked them up. So they're heading up through Cafe, and watching Exeter A over the line. It's a much closer race than the last one, and very close there. Thomas Fox versus, I'm sure Howard will be able to tell
James
me.
Ireland.
It's James Ireland.
And there he goes down the inside of hairpin 1. Nice textbook move. Does Ireland have a response? He's going to be on the outside of hairpin 2, but he's trying it, isn't he? Round the outside of hairpin 2. He's being aggressive. Can Tom Fox get good drive? No, he can't. James Ireland, ladies and gentlemen, round the outside of hairpin 2. You do not see that very often, folks. Brilliant. That was something special to return the favour.
Brilliant defensive driving there from James Ireland. Brilliant to go around the outside. Bit of argy-bargy, but I think that is just... That's harsh but fair racing there. Thomas Fox there, bit of violence between all of them, but they have been able to get away with it.
And as James has been mentioned, James Bume there, you just see him at the, just as we cut away from each shot at the moment, you can just see the 31 leading quite a train of karts in the background of each shot as we look at Brooks B defending against Cambridge B. Dominic Cousins, in that Cambridge B kart, chasing Brooks B's Angus Fender. At the moment, this is over 8th place. But you can just see in the background there quite a train of karts battling away in the teens. The likes of Bath A, Loughborough D, Brighton B, Kingston A leads A, Imperial A, and Birmingham A. Well, they spoke to Jake O'Sullivan on the grid, and he said, I can only really go forward. He is doing that at the moment, which is good to see. We're back with that battle over 6th place, and then here's the battle over 8th, which slowly but surely Brooks A are coming onto the back of as well. So it's nearly a 3-horse battle over 8th place.
Very close fight between Cambridge A and Nottingham A for 2nd place. They're about a second off the leader in the shape of Exeter A. In fact, that might be, I'm not sure, that might be a car in the way already, but we're back with the battle for, what is that for? I'm not entirely sure, but it's Thomas Fox, this time on James Ireland. This time he's waited for hairpin 2 and the move is done. So 1 now leads 2 in the battle for 6th place, although it has to be said, James Ireland right on the back of Thomas Fox. There's the Exeter A car leading away. 14th and 9th just behind Cambridge A and Nottingham A. Are we going to see anything from James Ireland on Thomas Fox into Garda? Not sure. I think they're staying line of stone at the moment, but it is this battle for 2nd place that you find us with right now. We're going to look for the Exeter A car coming across the line. There we go. So here comes the number 9 of Nottingham A. Down the inside of Cambridge A. Very close. They run out wide. This is going to bring Loughborough B into the fight as well, but it looks like Nottingham A down the inside of Sam Cobb, and there has been a change for 2nd place. But now the number 6 of Loughborough heading through, and he has also got the move down. So in the space of just a few corners, Nottingham A have gone from 2nd, Cambridge A, sorry, have gone from 2nd to 4th, and this is all going to bring Coventry A and Loughborough A into the fight as well.
Stefan Kessler is at the wheel of that Nottingham A car. Had a brilliant couple of rounds at PFI, particularly his sprint round there, getting by Sam Cobb, which is much easier said than done. Sam Cobb in that Loughborough car, isn't it? No, he's not in the Loughborough car whatsoever. In Cambridge A's car. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the fact he's changed teams from his Warwick stable.
It's very confusing.
But he is one of the most experienced drivers in the field, as Nathan Little gets taken by Tom Fox here over 5th place, and following through as well as James Ireland of Loughborough A. So Nathan Little, who's having a fantastic race, it has to be said here, for the Brighton A squad as he tries to get back at James Ireland into hairpin 2, but James Ireland's able to cover that one off, but still driving well here, Nathan Little. He doesn't need to let that upset his rhythm too much. He's driving a good race so far, but I should say that Sam Cobb is one of the most experienced drivers in this field, currently hunting down Charlie Bennett in that Loughborough B kart you just saw at the start of this shot. But still, this fantastic little on-track battle between Coventry A and Loughborough A goes on, but Konstantinos Karting in the number 5 there with his gold helmet and black suit is your race leader for Exeter A.
First of all, we've got a mechanical flag for Coventry D, second one of the day. But Howard, I'm predicting now we are going to see a 6-way fight for this lead in the next couple of minutes. You can see the top 4 separated by 1.3 seconds. We've then got about 1.6 seconds back to this fight. These two, Tom Fox and James Ireland, very experienced. They will work together and they will be able to surely get onto the back. We're hopefully going to see a titanic battle for the lead of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Should always say as ever, it's mucho close in the midfield as well. Kingston A in 15th, currently leading a train of about 10 karts who are less than a second behind each other. So that's one to look out for, the number 23 kart leading that train at the moment. But this battle for 2nd place is really hotting up now for the lead of the race, I should say. Stefan Kessler in that Nottingham A kart has caught up to the back of Konstantinos in the Exeter A kart. And look out as well for Charlie Bennett in that Loughborough B effort. Goes down the inside of Stefan Kessler in the Nottingham A kart. Nerves him out wide, but I think that was firm but fair stuff to take second place. Lovely move there from the Loughborough B driver. And now Charlie Bennett will try and get onto the back of Konstantinos, but this has brought in Sam Cobb in that Cambridge A kart, and he's gone straight down the inside of Stefan Kessler. Kessler decides to go wide in evasive action of the bollards there. If he hits that, that would be the same as a cone penalty, so he wants to avoid doing that. And suddenly, as you said, James, this is all starting to heat up nicely at the front here. And don't forget, Coventry and Loughborough will be able to see this, and if they know what's good for them, they'll work together to get onto the back of this.
Absolutely fantastic racing there. Konstantinos going out a little bit wide in hairpin 1, forcing the Cambridge A car. Sorry for forgetting the names, but there we go. Oh, there's a penalty for Cambridge A as we've got a change of leadership. Loughborough B now leading this race, but Cambridge A have picked up a penalty. Well, that might have been Cambridge B actually. We'll see what. No, it's Cambridge A.
It is Cambridge A.
Forcing a driver wide.
Sam Cobb there in his flame helmet.
And I think, Howard, I have to agree with that. And I'm glad to see as well that there's no track limits penalty for the Cambridge A kart as well. As we mentioned, Thomas Fox now firmly involved in this fight. James Ireland just a little bit further behind. And we're going to now watch them across the line. Konstantinos still right behind the Loughborough B kart.
Stefan Kessler, sorry, James, having a go at Sam Cobb here into turns 1 and 2 into Conway's and Henry's Bend, and he's got the job done. And Sam Cobb will be looking to fight back, but he's got to be careful because now Tom Fox is on the scene in that Coventry A kart, and we could just see in the back of shot there he was going down the inside and he's got the job done. So Coventry A up to 4th place, Nottingham A up to 3rd. All change here at the front, and Sam Cobb's now got that penalty for forcing the driver wide. So it's been an expensive lap or so for the Cambridge A kart. They're still on for some decent points, but they will be demoted a few positions, a couple off the top of my head, come the end of this race. And now James Ireland is going to have a go as well. Look out for the number 2 kart attacking the 14 kart as they come onto this new lap.
Thomas Fox very much interested in the Nottingham A kart. You're going to have to remind me again of the name, Howard.
Stefan Kessler.
Stefan Kessler, right. So we've got Thomas Fox versus Stefan Kessler now coming into 3rd place, heading towards hairpin 2. Are we going to see any move from Thomas Fox? No, he thinks better of it. Now heading down towards the S's. The front 2 getting a little bit of a gap now. Konstantinos and the Loughborough B kart.
Sorry, side by side goes James Ireland and Sam Cobb heading toward the S's. Which way did that come out? It went the way of James Ireland. So James Ireland has now secured that. It's going to be 5th place there for Loughborough. Tom Fox is going to have a look here down the inside of Stefan Kessler, and Kessler manages to get the cutback as they go through the Senna. It's called the Senna chicane, but to be honest, it always feels just like a single left-hander. Onto a new lap we go. 13 minutes of this one still to go. There's plenty of racing to go on here. As you predicted, James, this has become a 6-horse race at the front effectively, currently headed by Charlie Bennett in that Loughborough B kart in the red suit. He's got Exeter A all over the back of him, though. He cannot rest for a second. And as I said earlier, there's still fantastic battling going on throughout the field here as well. Battle over 11th place. Keep an eye on that on your timing towels on the left-hand side of the screen. It's the other flavour of commentators. We often talk about commentators' curse being that we curse other people's races if we say it's going well, as Tom Fox goes down the inside again of Stefan Kessler, and this time makes it stick. The other form of commentators' curse is I wish we could talk about everything that's happening out there, but it's impossible right now as they come onto lap number 17.
Charlie Little there in the Loughborough B kart he's got a little bit of a gap now to Exeter A. It's only 2/10 of a second. In fact, it's commentators' curse once again, Howard. The fight is now still definitely on for the lead of this race. Coventry A getting very interested. Obviously, Tom Fox, that late move on the Nottingham A kart, Sam Kessler, and much better than his first attempt where he went a little bit too early. Tried it once, came back for the second time, got it done straight away. Fantastic driving there from Tom Fox. Meanwhile, we've now got James Ireland in the Loughborough A kart getting involved with Nottingham A. Are we going to see him coming through at any moment? We've also got to bear in mind as well, we're only just over halfway through, and as I say that, the 61 of Queen Mary A going through. Back markers are going to start to play a part in this race, probably much more so than what we saw in the last race. Loughborough A, James Ireland have just set the fastest lap of the race. So I'm sure we'll be seeing an overtake from them very soon. In fact, as I say that, we have just seen an overtake there by James Ireland even, on the Nottingham A kart, and now James Ireland up into fourth place even.
I should say as well that further back from this top 6 battle that we've been focusing on, Brighton A are still having a fantastic race with Nathan Little at the wheel, but he is getting the attentions of a certain Kyle Morby, who's having a fantastic drive from the back for BUKC. They started 26th. They're now battling over 7th. Other teams that I've noted are having a good drive up through the field. Birmingham A running in 14th, having started in 29th. And also Newcastle B, Adam Fleming started 25th. He's now up into 17th. So some good drives up through the field happening here as we keep our eyes peeled on the leader. Charlie Bennett absorbing the pressure so well from Konstantinos. Konstantinos in the number 5 Exeter A kart with his gold helmet. Still chasing them down. This is a driver who had a lot of success last year. Exeter, one of those squads that have really come to the sharp end of the BUKC in recent history. But Tom Fox there is a man on the mission for Coventry A in 3rd place. Look out for that number 1 kart trying to reel these two in over the course of the next few laps.
We've got Aston A and Huddersfield B, I believe it is, fighting at the back. So that is something that the leaders will have to be wary of, make sure they don't get caught up in that. Got contact warning there for Trinity A. Where are they? They are down in 23rd place. It's an all Welsh little battle there for sort of 23rd place. Trinity A, Trinity B, and then Swansea A in that little battle. But it's this battle for 1st place we're keeping an eye on. Keep an eye on as well Thomas Fox. He's currently 1.6 seconds off the fight, but at the moment Charlie Bennett and Konstantinos working well together to make sure these guys aren't in the way. It's actually, I take it back, it's the Hertfordshire A kart getting lapped again that was that little battle happening there. So it just looks like they've just lapped him for a 2nd time. I think Charlie Bennett got the rub of the green with that one. Yeah,
Hertfordshire, former champions of course, but they're back in the mains for the first time in a fair few years, so good to have them along for the ride. Kyle Morby, I mentioned, was battling with Brighton A. He has made that move stick now. And in other news, the Trinity karts, University of Wales, Trinity St David B and A, they've just swapped positions. 23rd, 24th, the B team now ahead of the A team, interestingly enough. But we'll see how that pans out. Still 9 minutes to go of this one. Konstantinos Karting chasing Charlie Bennett for the leader this one. We're here with the 22, Nathan Little, who I think is having a brilliant drive at the moment for Brighton. Started quite high up, got to the head of the field, lest we forget, at the end of lap 1. But he's still doing really well and is still the highest place of the Clubman karts. And he's got a fair few prems as a buffer back to the next Clubman runner, Cambridge B, back in 12th.
Absolutely. Looking on as well as the buffer of those cars, he's also got a decent amount of time between them as well. The next one is Leeds A. They are, to be fair, they are right on the back of Bath A. Keeping an eye on Nathan Little, he's got Oxford Brooks B bearing down on him. It's the 61 now, getting in the way of the Oxford Brooks A kart. Sorry.
Yes.
We should see that happening any moment now. As we Thomas Fox, who's making a move. He's lapping the Aston A kart.
Yeah.
So James Ireland getting caught up there as well. Hopefully we should be able to get past him any moment. Just see Alistair Irvine in the Club 100 test car as a Hertfordshire A have now got a mechanical flag. 3rd one of the day. Meanwhile, on the battle for the lead, Konstantinos right up behind Charlie Little, heading now into hairpin 2. Are we going to see any lunging attempt from Konstantinos? No, he's more experienced to know that.
You can't keep Alistair Irvine away from a BUKC event, can you? Anyway, the interesting thing about that for me is that James Ireland judged the traffic a little bit better than Tom Fox did. And so Loughborough now closer to Coventry A. Now, if he catches up to Tom Fox, will they work together, or will they just battle it out, allowing these two to battle it out? You get this sense here that Konstantinos is biding his time a little bit. The opportunity, if it comes, he'll take it, but there's still plenty of time left in this one for him to make a move, if so he can just bide his time, sit there and look for the opportunity, or push slightly harder in the last couple of laps. Fastest lap of the race, by the way, I should say, currently with Tom Fox, so he has got the pace to catch up to these guys.
You say about waiting for the opportune moment. What if the opportune moment comes and goes? So I think Konstantinos has got to think about making a move sooner rather than later. As we just look a little bit further down the grid, whilst not much is happening at the front. We've just seen Imperial A falling down the order, and Loughborough C have overtaken Newcastle B for 18th place. Konstantinos right up the back of Charlie Little, now heading up towards Cafe. They're going to have to, he's got to do something here. Alistair Irvine in the way up front. Surely are we going to see a move into Conways? No, not yet, but there is every possibility that coming now into hairpin 1. Are we going to see a lunge? No. Oh, Nathan Little going slightly defensive there into hairpin 1. Into hairpin 2 now, where Konstantinos has been much better, so based on what I've seen, but no, it is still as you were. Thomas Fox just behind. The gap now is 1.2 seconds, so it's coming down, but it's not coming down enough, in my opinion, for Thomas Fox to be. Maybe on if Konstantinos and Mr. Little start fighting a little bit more, we might see the two coming through. As there's actually a track limit warning there for Thomas Fox, so he's got to be careful he doesn't pick another one of those.
Newcastle B's impressive drive up through the field continues. Adam Fleming has just got past Loughborough C for 18th place. Leeds A as well have just got past Bath A to get themselves into the top 10, so that's a good effort there for Leeds A. Who is in there? That's Jack Fisher. Yeah, we heard from him on the grid, didn't we? Getting by the Bath A kart there, which is James Bewmate. Of course it is. Still having a good drive though.
They are neck and neck. It has to be said. They just crossed the line exactly the same point. So that is a decent fight there. Meanwhile, Thomas Fox is now definitely getting involved in this fight. There was a kart pulling over there.
That was Hertfordshire doing, noticing that the leaders were coming through, doing the right thing, I think.
Yes,
and just getting well out of the way. So fair play to them for that. We've got under 5 minutes to go then. Charlie Bennett leads ahead of Konstantinos Karting, Mr. Karting as we like to call him for Exeter A, and then Tom Fox in Coventry A's kart, now turning this into a 3-horse battle at the front.
Just note, I was about to just bring it up, that the Club 100 test car, which is piloted by Alistair Irvine, is lapping at roughly the same pace of the lead karts. I thought it'd be interesting when they got up to back of him, but Alistair Irvine, massively experienced driver, very talented. He's just completely pulled over to one side, letting the leaders through. If you're watching and you are one of those drivers that ends up towards the back, that is how to do it.
Yeah, Irvine, he knows what he's doing, doesn't he? In the pink helmet there, he's not a factor in this, just doing a bit of test work for the Club 100 squad. If you're wondering, these are Club 100 Rotax Evo karts that we race with in the BUKC. Club 100 have been providing the machinery for almost all of the BUKC's history, to be perfectly honest. And it's been a partnership that's worked very well for many a year. And here for the move of the lead goes Konstantinos, gets by at hairpin 2, and immediately Tom Fox is having a look. But as we saw earlier with his battle with James Ireland in the Loughborough kart, he hasn't got great drive off of that second hairpin there, at least when he tries to take that tight line. Nose to tail, they go through Pullmans and into paddock. Will anyone have a go into Garda? Tom Fox is trying to get a run, but Charlie Bennett's looking to get the lead back. He goes to the inside, half in defence, half in attack. Alistair Irvine has to I bet he's lifting off a bit here because he doesn't want to get involved in this. That's what the midfield looks like in the BUKC as well, folks. Look at this, Charlie Bennett towards Conway. He's going to try down the inside, gets the job done. Side by side they are. Tom Fox gets alongside Mr. Karting as well as they head into hairpin 1, James.
Absolutely, this is absolutely fantastic stuff. Sorry if I was calling Charlie Bennett Nathan Little earlier, but this is what I was predicting earlier. It's a 3-horse race for the lead. Tom Fox has got back past. I mentioned earlier Konstantinos had to pick his moment. He went for it. Unfortunately, it has cost him, so maybe he should have thought of going for it a little bit earlier. I won't pretend to be an expert, but that is just my opinion in the racing world. Meanwhile, we're now coming out into Garda. Charlie Bennett going defensive into Garda. Tom Fox had a run on him, and he's surely going to have a run on him now, coming out of the centre chicane, heading up towards Cafe. The midfield battle is absolutely obscene heading into, we've just got 2 minutes left. Tom Fox trying it around, he's going to try around the outside of Henry's corner. He's going down the outside towards hairpin 1. How's your braking? It's not bad, but it's not good enough for Nathan Bennett to lose the lead, and Konstantinos now getting involved. Is he going to send it down the inside on Tom Fox? Yes, he is. So it's now Exeter in P2. Loughborough B still leading, but Thomas Fox fights back. He's fought back around the outside of the S's. This is all going absolutely splendidly. I think they are just about with this massive gaggle of midfield cars. I think, no, they are actually going to get onto the back of these.
They are. So this, just to explain, this is, I want to say it is Coventry B in 25th, who are leading Swansea A, UWTSD A, Warwick C, UWTSD B, Sheffield A, Manchester Met. They are all in this string having a legitimate battle over 22nd place downwards. So they aren't going to be in the mood to get out of the way. They might decide to do the right thing if they fall off the back of the pack, but they're going to be battling in the dying moments, and it's all for points. No blue flags either here, as Thomas Fox tries to have a look here at Charlie Bennett, but there's nothing on there. He's right on his rear bumper. Those they're going to head down through Syme Sweep. He'll try and get a good line through Pullman's. He'll see that gaggle of carts ahead. He's going to want to try and get a move done before they hit this if they can. The first cart is the Huddersfield B cart, the 29. Will this give Charlie Bennett the opportunity to break away? As I said earlier, though, it's not great being the first leader to hit a pack of carts, as we're going to come round now. Will this be called as the last lap, or have we got 2 more to go? It is 2 more to go as they hit the traffic. Here we go then. Tom Fox of Coventry A with Konstantinos Karting of Exeter A hunting down Charlie Bennett. He's got to absorb the pressure and get through the traffic cleanly and efficiently.
This is absolutely fantastic. We're going to have at least 2 laps. The Coventry, the UWTSD spot, the Huddersfield B car gets out of the way, does the right job. It is still as you were. Thomas Fox needed to get the move done before they hit this gaggle of carts. He has not been able to do that. Now we are probably going to see how to manage traffic, how to work it out. It looks like that Charlie Bennett has got past Loughborough B.
Look out for James Ireland as well, James. He's just got onto the back of this in the white helmet and blue suit, so look out for him. Can he nab something on the very last lap as we head onto it?
This is absolutely spectacular. We've crossed the line with 4 seconds to go. Thomas Fox looking around the outside once again through Conways, through Henrys. It's absolutely fantastic racing. How's he braking into hairpin 1? It's decent from Thomas Fox. He's round the outside, but Charlie Bennett defends brilliantly. Thomas Fox, he covers off the inside line fantastically. Overtaking manoeuvres becoming more of a premium now, as it is almost impossible to tell where the leaders start and the midfield ends. One of the midfield drivers getting overtaken into Syme Sweep. That's Charlie Bennett going down the inside. Surely there's not going to be, there's got Garda as the last opportunity for Thomas Fox. He's definitely on the inside. Charlie Bennett goes defensive. It looks like as Konstantinos runs Thomas Fox out. James Ireland getting involved as well, but it looks like after all that, it is going to be Charlie Bennett across the line for the Loughborough B kart. There we go. So we've got Loughborough B, Exeter A, Coventry A, Loughborough A, Nottingham A got involved there as well. They crossed the line brilliantly. Fantastic racing from all 3 of them. Brilliant racing from the midfield. Hopefully we might even be able to pick up that fight, see what's going on. I believe we were up to about...
So Leeds A are going to hold off Bath A, for 10th. That's a battle that had been raging for most of the latter third of the race. Is Cambridge B going to come across to claim 12th? Yes, they are, just from Loughborough D by a 10th of a second. Bournemouth A and Nottingham Trent A have just got past Kingston A on the last lap. Imperial A overtake Newcastle B and Loughborough C as well. That takes us down to the end of the top 20. Then's Brighton B. Coventry B then are going to try and hold on to this, because there they go. They held on. They were at the front of that gaggle of carts that the leaders were picking their way through. So they just finished on the lead lap there and managed to hold on there. So brilliant job from Coventry B. Warwick C in 23rd. Then it's Trinity A, Sheffield A, Swansea A, Manchester Met A, Birmingham B, Trinity B, and Huddersfield B to round out your top 30. Aston A will be next in terms of points, albeit the Club 100 test kart registered in 31st. Queen Mary A in 33rd, 34th for Coventry D. Hertfordshire A round out all the runners. Wow, what a run to the finish that one. That one, that was the first. That was only the second of 12 of those that we're doing today.
No.
Pace yourself.
This is going to be interesting. We'll see. Hopefully, some herbal remedies might be needed for our aching voices.
It's all right. I've heard that they're bringing us a cup of tea, so that could be good. But anyway, brilliant stuff. We should say, by the way, we appreciate we had a bit of a technical hitch at the start of the day, but now that we're up and running and we're underway, hopefully you'll agree that was fantastic stuff. So get this stream shared and liked. Start talking about it, folks, because hopefully you'll agree this is a fantastic series, and we really do want to get people aware of it, get people talking. It's midweek. We're not competing with motorsport on the weekend. Oh, no. We are on a weekday here, so you've got no excuses. So if you are enjoying the stream, please like, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and get this thing shared. Let's get people talking about it. Hashtag BUKC 2020. I think we're ready to go down to Jacob on the grid to get the thoughts of Charlie Bennett. So I think we're not able to head down to Jacob right now. There is the camera. We can see Darren with the camera down on the grid. They're ready with Charlie Bennett. But we're just having a few issues getting that today. Oh, well, not today. I'm sure we'll manage it by the end of the day. We're just having some problems getting it right now as they get ready on the grid for race number 3. They're just getting all the drivers into the cart. So that was a heavyweight race. Don't forget, we'll now go into a lightweight race. So the drivers now have to achieve 75 kilos with all things taken into account. And when I say that, I mean that their transponder and number plate get to count towards that weight tally and any lead that they carry on the carts. Heading towards the 3rd race of 6 in this round 3. But that's only one of the 2 rounds we have to do today. So action throughout the day. In reality, it's probably going to be getting a little bit... Well, usually it gets a little bit dark towards the end of the day here at Buckmore, but unusually for the BUKC, we're here for rounds 3 and 4 rather than 1 and 2. So we might just get a nice sort of sunset effect, because we're here just slightly later in the year by a few weeks than we usually are.
I have a report from the Met Office indicating that at about midday, the heavens are going to open.
Okay, that sounded very official. So now you can only do you can't do worse than me for forecasting than I did at PFI. No. Every time I said it was going to do something, it just didn't. Whilst we're seeing if we can get a hold of Jacob on the grid, I just want to give a shout out to for Alpha Live, who we are working alongside. If you like what you're hearing from a commentary perspective, we're Double Dash Motorsport Media. Check us out on Facebook or head over to double-mm.com. But Alpha Live, who we're working with to provide these streams, have been streaming the BUKC now for a number of seasons. They have I got handed the list this year for the events they're doing. I'm going to read it out at some point because it's absolutely mad, but I think we're ready to go down to Jacob now.
We're back on the grid with Konstantinos, who seems to interfere with our cameras somehow, but it's just saying, not the best kart, but a great race.
Yeah, I mean, it was really enjoyable. With a move that I did 5 minutes before the end of the race.
Apologies, folks. We're still having some issues there down on the grid. It's just the nature of, obviously, you know, Konstantinos. He just interfere. The man is like a... I don't know, like a magnet to a CRT TV screen. Wow, that made me sound old then, probably. I don't know.
I had no idea what you were saying. Can I just say as well, on this topic, GYG next week happens to be my birthday, but it is beautiful to be around people who are the correct age. Having spent the majority of my last year at university with people born dangerously close to the 2000 limit. Yeah, it's lovely to now be the young one.
You get used to that one, mate, honest. Let's talk you through a bit then of what Alpha Live have got in store this year, just as we're seeing we can get hold of Jacob. The list that was handed to me this morning by Luke Austin from Alpha Live is, I'm just going to say, impressive. So what they've got this year, they've got the MS UK British Championship, all of those events, all the events for that. That's all 18 weekends, I think they're doing for that. The Super 1 Bambino Kart Championship, they're doing that. Wilton Mill Kart Club, of course, been doing that for a number of years. Teesside Owner Driver Sprint Series, they're doing that. Daniel Ricciardo Series, all on Alpha Live. 750 Motor Club for the Enduro season, they're doing that. Obviously, a series close to the heart of everyone here is Club 100, because they provide the machinery. Will be with you for 5 rounds of the Club 100 series this year. British mini bikes are going to be taking place as well. And look at this, folks, by the way. We saw a little shot there of one of our onboard cameras, which we're... we're not... Okay, producer's telling us to keep quiet on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
just
be,
there are no onboard cameras.
There are no onboard cameras. You didn't see that.
No.
British mini bikes, just to finish off this list. British mini bikes, Shennington Super Prix, the 750 Motor Club Burkett Endurance. That's the list of motorsport events. They're also doing Northampton Saints Rugby. It's just all kicking off for Alpha Live this year. I'm very impressed by the list. Make sure that you are subscribed to them on YouTube. And I'm earning so many brownie points with the Alpha Live guys behind us here. But seriously, guys, they are up to so much this year. It's fantastic. Over 100 over 110 days of live streaming currently confirmed for these guys. I don't know how they're going to do it, but make sure you are subscribed to them on YouTube and that you've liked Alpha Live on Facebook. And also they are at Alpha Live LTD on Twitter as well, just to keep abreast of all of their active streams on social media. You can see Stu Stretton there as well in the orange bib there on the grid, one of the finest photographers. I'm gonna go out there and say the finest kart photographer that the UK has to offer. His stuff is fantastic stuff, and he comes down and photographs the BUKC for us. You'll see him on many. He seems to be. I don't know how he does everything he does either. He's just everywhere. But check out his stuff as well. He is an absolute legend of getting some photographs. How many cover photos on Facebook? People who have asked Stu, can I just use that? That's brilliant shot, mate. I think Jacob there, a bit forlorn, walking back to us, I think. So we'll give up for that one.
We've stolen his thunder, and yeah, I think the problem we've got is that where we are in Buckmore Park, as Howard's mentioned earlier, we are in a valley. We've got quite a few trees surrounding the particular place where the karts stop on the grid, and also the sheer amount of people that like to wander on the grid as well.
There are. We're unusual here as well, we should say. Sorry to cut across, but the unusual setup of Buckmore as well. The pit lane is where that garage you can see is in the background of that shot. That is completely the opposite end of the circuit to the start-finish straight. So for those of you who are used to watching motorsport FIA graded circuits, and the pit lane's almost always alongside start-finish, here it's a little different. So with that all done, and I think we'll go on to race number 3. Race number 3 then of round 3 of the British Universities Karting Championship for 2020. This is one of our lightweight races. Drivers loaded up to 75 kilos. Shall we, James, do you mind getting the grid out of the way nice and early?
I can get the grid out of the way.
And I'll try and do some maths on where the points have got us.
Yeah, I'll leave the maths to you. Trusting me with maths is not a good idea. So, on pole position, we have got Bath A and Sam Baxter. We're good to go. No, we're carrying on. We're carrying on. So we've got London South Bank A, Vincent Amiot starting in 2nd place for the number 100 kart, and it's Trent C, Ignacio Rodriguez starting in 3rd place. There we go. There's a grid, and it's Angel Marco starting for Warwick C in P4. Sheffield A is Amy Jurger, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to go with Jurger. And Bath B, Scott Van Breda, someone else very experienced in the BUKC. Birmingham B are in 7th with Julian Zhao, and De Montfort B, Sam Munro starting in 8th place. 9th place to Huddersfield A and Aaron Walsh, and its 10th place goes to Brighton B and Ben Chesters. Exeter A with Ryan Luscombe are starting in 11th, and it's Joe Perkins starting 12th for the Warwick A car. Exeter B starting in 13th place, and it's Nottingham A, Charlie Lamb in 14th. Imperial A, Hisham Massar starting in 15th, and Oxford Brooks D are in 16th with Alexander Baker. Birmingham C, Tim Montford Lister starting in 17th, and Loughborough A starting in 18th. That's James Mills at the wheel. UEA 19th with Felix Connolly at the wheel, and it's UWTSD A, Trinity, Swansea Met, whatever you want to call it. Sam Johns, who's a very, very experienced driver. Nearly drove for Swansea at one point, but had to settle for the Trinity car in 20th. Birmingham A, Benjamin Boros starting in 21st. It's De Montfort A, Sam Lovelace starting in 22nd. Manchester A, Dimitris Siomanis starting in 23rd, and 24th to Robbie Thiagaraja. If I'm getting any of the names wrong, please do forgive me. Looking now for 25th place, it is Loughborough C and Ben Smith starting in 25th. 26th is Warwick B, David Beth starting there. Nottingham Trent B are 27th, Edward McDade at the helm. And Coventry A, Sam Spinell, watch out for him. I'm sure he'll be climbing up the grid as quickly as possibly can throughout the race there. Oxford Brooks C, Lewis Bracewell starting in 29th, and it's 30th place for Coventry B and Callum George. Newcastle B starting in 31st. James Grant at the wheel and Newcastle A, so it's an all Newcastle, 16th row of the grid. So Newcastle A, Matthew Gledall starting in 32nd. Manchester Met A are 33rd, no driver currently listed. It's possible that that person might be ineligible. And Leeds B, Daniel Gilbert starting in 34th. Southampton A, Carlos Gilhelm Boschetto starting in 35th. And rounding off this grid, a full 36 kart grid, it is Kingston A and James Woodthorpe. So as Howard continues to work on the math, obviously reflecting on that previous race beforehand, fantastic fight for the win in that race. Brilliant example of how to race, when to pick your moment, when not to pick your moment, how to navigate traffic, how to not navigate traffic, all of that fantastic stuff. Barely any penalties. We had a couple of track limits, maybe a few pushing wide. Sam Cobb in the Cambridge A kart.
I will say this, it was an expensive penalty for Sam Cobb in the end. He classified in 11th. Remember how he was featuring in amongst all that top six? Down to 11th on that one. So an important case study in there, and just, making the moves cleanly to keep yourself on the right side. And here we are, the onboard shot. This is Sam Spinale, who we are on board with here, I am told, by the Alpha Live team. It has been a while since we tried an onboard camera. I want to say it was the finals a couple of years ago at Wilton Mill we tried this. But here we go, onboard shot. Sam Spinell's not a bad driver to pin the camera to either.
Howard, I believe we good for it? No, we're not,
yeah,
sorry.
So he's starting 28th for Coventry A, our championship leaders and, of course, our reigning champions, starting 28th. So good pick, guys. We're going to see him come up through the field. Obviously, slightly different setup with cameras this year. We've got no more helmet cameras in BUKC. So we're on the front nose cone there of the Coventry A kart. Brilliant to bring you those pictures, but the cameras are now mounted just forward of the number plate. You can see the camera mount slots on there, and some people will have cameras mounted on the cart, but brilliant that we're able to bring you that on your live stream.
Has to be said, speaking of the onboard cameras, obviously BUKC very popular with uploading stuff to YouTube. That's obviously how I started and all of that good stuff. But it has to be said, having done a race with them as well, they are actually fantastic. They don't fall off, and the picture quality, depending on obviously the camera you've got, is genuinely fantastic. So Club 100 doing a fantastic job there after their inclusion in Motorsport UK. But I believe we are good for a race start. We're going to look for those red lights turn green, and there we go. We are away, and we are racing. So it looks to be the hunt number 100 leading away for the race. There's an incident already. Stephen Letts of Anol. We've got several karts round 2 into the barrier. Was that Sam Spinell? Yes, it was. We've got the onboard shot right in the face of the barrier.
Every time we put an onboard camera on a kart, we condemn it.
He's condemned to death.
We put one on Brooks a few years ago. There's a battle side by side for second. Sorry, looking out of our window. That's slightly ahead of where we're looking at with the cameras. But there was an aggressive move there on for second place at the front as they all worked their way through. It was no harm, no foul, I guess. But it involved the 100 there of London South Bank. I couldn't make out who else was having a battle. But that's why you could see the driver with their arm aloft. Clearly a little bit frustrated. They've been given the penalty, though, they've been given a penalty for a jump start of London South Bank.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure they were starting in third place. To see them at the front was a bit bizarre.
Yes.
Maybe they were just, I don't know, maybe they tried something cheeky and put themselves in front for some reason. But anyway, it was a very chaotic start. The South Bank car falling massively down the order they are now running in 12th place with that penalty. There's now a penalty for Oxford Brooks D. They are in
4 positions.
Place.
4 positions dot at the end of the race for them.
It's an ABC BAP. So there we
Bump
go.
And pass.
Bump and pass.
I do want to say as well, the fact that Sam Spinell had a spin at the start, don't worry, he'll still be overtaking people. We'll still get to see some stuff if there's a penalty for Loughborough A. ABC bump and pass, that is advantage by contact, by the way, that the ABC stands for. So 4 positions dot for them, already a scruffier race than we saw in race number 2 for these drivers. Lightweight race, remember this one, so they have to be leaded up to 75 kilos. Nice little battle developing here. I think it's the law that the latter part of the top 10 has to be velcroed together, as we see Birmingham B in the 32 battling away with Huddersfield A, I think it was.
Nottingham A finding themselves just behind in this particular fight. We're now looking at the Warwick C car. I was going to give a shout out to the Warwick C driver, Angel Marco. Good to see him racing. He nearly raced for us back in the 24-hour couple last year, but so it's good to see that he is up there fighting amongst the upper echelons of this race. But we have got Sheffield A closing massively in on them. In fact, Warwick C now up to second, so something's happened. Warwick C have overtaken Nottingham Trent C, and they are now running in second place, although it looks like this battle set to rumble on as there's a cone penalty for Birmingham B, but the 60 of Warwick C still in second place in front of Nottingham Trent C and Sheffield A. So very good fight in these early stages for second place. Obviously all this is meaning Bath A car is leaping ahead. It's already a 2.5 second gap. It's as if Sebastian Vettel's at the wheel. It's the 18 of Sheffield A sending it down the inside of Garda, but it looks like Nottingham Trent going to fight back, and they have held on to the position for the moment. All this giving Angel Marco a bit of breathing space. There goes the Bath A car. I'm sure at some point someone will tell me his name. Now we have got the Sheffield A.
Bath A, mate.
Bath A, yes.
Sam Baxter at the
Sam
wheel of this
Baxter,
one.
that is the one, but it is now the fight coming now into hairpin one, and the Sheffield A car is now in front. That is Amy Yerger in the lead, although it has to be said the Nottingham Trent C car Ignacio Rodriguez is fighting back. Get to show off some of the accents I've picked up over the years of studying languages here with Ignacio. Thank you very much, sir. But no, looking down towards where are we now? We're following Sam Baxter through. He heads into Garda. Angel Marco just in front of the 18 of Amy Yerger, and it's still absolute pandemonium heading through Garda. I'm not entirely sure who now leads this pack, but it would appear that Ignacio has fallen down the order. Waiting to see them cross the line. So it's Warwick C leading Amy Yerger, but Amy Yerger now heading down the inside of Angel Marco. Angel's going to fight it round the outside of Henry's turn, but it looks like Amy with the inside line has got the move done, although Angel going to fight round the outside into hairpin 2, but the move is now done. So who is it now occupying that fourth place? It is still the Nottingham A kart of I'll come back to you with that one in a moment, but now heading down towards Garda. So it is Amy Yerger now in second place from Angel Marco. Sam Baxter leaping away into the distance, and the Nottingham A kart now going to fight through. That is Charlie Lamb, and it looks like, oh no, hang on, Angel Marco was having a fight there on, in fact I think Angel Marco got back past Amy Yerger in the Warwick C car. We're going to wait to see him cross the line. No, it's Amy Yerger still in front of Angel Marco, as now Charlie Lamb trying to go down the inside of Conway's on Angel Marco. He's got the inside line for hairpin 1. Oh, Angel Marco getting seriously out of shape, outbraking himself a bit there, and that is going to cost him, as he's now fallen down to at least 6th place. A couple of carts coming through on him as well. We've got the 16 of De Montfort A. I believe that's Sam Lovelace heading through as well. Angel Marco falling massive down the order. He's now been taken down the inside into second S, being forced wide through Simon Sweep, as we now wait to see what's going to happen through the Garda paddock complex. Amy Yerger still up in second place, but it is now Charlie Lamb heading up in third place. Sam Baxter absolutely checking out of this race up in the lead, although hopefully I haven't just given him commentators because that would be very unfortunate. I somewhat doubt it though. So yeah, brilliant little bit of racing there. Angel Marco in the space of one lap has fallen down 4 places. Really good defensive driving. He is the third highest. Sheffield, actually Amy Yerger, Sheffield A running in second place. They are a clubman team. So it's different to what we saw in the last race, where we had all of the top 7 effectively being Premier teams. We've now got Premier Clubman, Premier, Clubman, Premier, Clubman. So Amy Yerger will be now on the defence from the Nottingham A car, but it looks like that move there done by Charlie Lamb on Amy Yerger in the Sheffield A car. So Charlie Lamb now heading up into third place, although there's a 5.4 second gap to Sam Baxter in the Bath A car. Contact warning for X to B. And who have we now got on the back of this fight? It's the Montfort A. I believe that is Sam Lovelace. I'm sure someone will be able to confirm it at some point. In fact, it is. So, decent little scrap here for second place. Contact warning for Newcastle A. Seeing what Sam Lovelace can do here on Amy Yerger. Amy obviously getting involved in a brilliant fight with Angel Marco. Got in front of him, but was not able to keep Charlie Lamb behind them for long, as now Sam Lovelace going down the inside of Amy Yerger, and that is Sam Lovelace in the De Montfort A car up into third place. Amy Yerger was having a look up towards Cafe Curve. What are we going to see across the line? Amy Yerger now darting to the inside line. Has they got the inside line into Conways? We will see in a moment, but it looks like no. Sam Lovelace has got back in front, so it is down to fourth place for Amy Yerger. Meanwhile, we have got who is that? We've got Huddersfield A and Warwick C going hammer and tongs together. Howard, no, he's telling me to carry on. So anyway, carrying on now with this race, we have got Charlie Lamb getting a little bit of a gap to Sam Lovelace and Amy Yerger in third and fourth. Looking now back C. So what have we got? We've got the 40 of De Montfort B. So it's De Montfort A in third place and De Montfort B in fifth. There's actually, so still in those positions. Huddersfield A, it should be pointed out, Nottingham Trent and Oxford Brooks are all ineligible in this race. So if you hear those names we mentioned, don't worry, they're not scoring points. They are still in this fight. Meanwhile, we've got a contact warning for Manchester A, and we've got some very close racing going on here. This is a battle amongst the Premier and Intermediate teams. I think they are some club. I think Intermediate. Sorry, that's from 2 years ago. We've got clubman teams now fighting amongst the Premier drivers towards sort of the lower reaches of the top 10. You see there the 53 of Bath B doing rather well. And there goes number 12 of Trinity A, making good progress through there. Track limits warning as well for Brighton B. So we've got the number 8 heading across the line. Huddersfield A are getting closer to Sheffield A, Amy Yerger. And also, speaking of getting closer, the Nottingham A car of Charlie Lamb has started to reel in Sam Baxter. We've got some three abreast, Angel Marco and the number 11 of Oxford Brooks C going hammer and tongs there. The 32 of Birmingham B and Loughborough A also involved in this little fight for what would this be? Sort of 10th place, more or less. Actually, no, sorry, make that 11th place. With obviously now Oxford Brooks C in front of Warwick C, the Loughborough A car having a look down the inside, but also having a look down the inside was the Birmingham B kart on Brighton B, I believe. Huddersfield as well, the ineligible driver getting involved with that could actually be the Oxford Brooks C car. Warwick C down into 12th place. So now coming through towards hairpin 1, the 11 getting a little bit of a gap now to Angel Marco in the Warwick C car again. So it's the 11 is an ineligible driver, and there's a move there from Loughborough B. Loughborough A, on Birmingham B. Heading now down towards Pullman's. No current moves going on now, but we should maybe be seeing something from the Nottingham Trent C car on the Trinity A car, although the Trinity A car moving through the field, Premier team, very successful before. That's actually Sam Johns. Sam Johns, I believe, was starting very low down in this race, so he has made an awful lot of progress. It's the number 5 now getting involved on the out. That is Exeter A overtaking Nottingham Trent C. I believe that was, wait to see. Yes, it definitely was Nottingham Trent C. And they now head through Garda. That is that's someone. There's still that battle between there's the 44 of Manchester Met A are they are well out of the running at the moment. They're a Premier team, but they're down. Both actually, but Manchester A and Manchester Met A occupying the final 2 rows of this grid. So heading now into Garda, we have got there was a good fight going on just a little bit further in front. I think the Bath B and Trinity A carts getting close together. Actually, it's Bath A and De Montfort B, I think, are having a decent little fight. Heading across the line, De Montfort B leading Bath B and Trinity A. Heading now through Henry's turn into hairpin 1. Little overtaking move there from the 53 on De Montfort B. That is going to bring Trinity A and Exeter A into the fight as well. Obviously Trinity A making a very good start from towards the back of the grid. And it is Exeter A who are, I believe they are firmly in the championship fight for the Premier class. A little bit of a slide there from who's that? That's the 26. Actually, no, it's Manchester A who are getting themselves properly involved in this fight. They are completely out of the running, but still fighting the carts around them. So I mentioned earlier how watching Alistair Irvine, that's how to do it. I think the Manchester A car is an example of how not to do it, getting involved in the fight. But it's also worth mentioning that Nottingham A in second place have just taken about 0.6 of a second out of Bath A. The lead is down to 1.9 seconds, so we will make sure to look out for that as and when it develops. But pretty soon, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a decent battle for the lead, so we will see what happens with that one. Meanwhile, who are we looking at right now? We have got the number 8 of Huddersfield A leading De Montfort B. Then it's a little bit of a gap back to Exeter A and Bath B. And then this is where Trinity A with Sam Johns are going to come into the mix surely, making brilliant progress from the back of the field. And in fact, it is Trinity A now in front of Bath B. Meanwhile, your gap at the front is 1.4 seconds, so a further 0.5 of a second taken out of Sam Baxter's lead there by Charlie Lamb in the Nottingham A car. It's currently an all-Premier podium position, and it's then Amy Yerger in the Sheffield A car running in 4th place for Sheffield A. Keeping an eye on what's going on. We've got what looks to be, we've got Sheffield A right behind De Montfort A now. And it's actually, no, hang on, Huddersfield A, who are an ineligible driver, are now they're being chased heavily by the De Montfort B car. And just a little bit further back, we've also got Trinity A properly on the rear of Exeter A. Sam Johns looking for the overtake on the Exeter A car, which is piloted by Ryan Luscombe. And I believe after a lengthy disappearance, have we got the return of Mr. Howard Mitchell?
Hello. Sorry, I was resolving an issue. We had a shout out to the guys at Alpha Timing, as there's a penalty for Brighton B for track limits. Shout out to Alpha Timing, who had a slight issue with the getting race 1 grids and results up into the screen and thus into our spreadsheet of doom, but we got onto that immediately and solved the problem. I've just spent the time putting everything into the spreadsheet of doom. I've got to say, I always give kudos to Mr. Mather for doing this work. I'm trying my best, folks. We'll try and give you the live update as we head towards the latter part of this round, which is round 3, the first of 2 rounds we've got for you today. And of course, both of the sprint format, which is awesome stuff. We're looking at the moment. We're looking at number 9 of Nottingham A. This is the fight over the lead, indeed, isn't it? Between Sam Baxter, who's led this one from the start, and Nottingham A's Charlie Lamb, who's now all over the back of him for the lead of the race.
I think we've got some Charlie Lamb fans.
I think so. Oh, look, having a look, tried to sell the dummy there, did Charlie Lamb. That was a really, he's got his head screwed on, hasn't he? Tried to sell the dummy, but Sam Baxter stayed to the inside and just managed to cover off in attempting to compromise. What about into hairpin 2? The door's left open and through goes Charlie Lamb. Textbook overtake. Does Bath A's Sam Baxter have a response? Not for now, at least. And Charlie Lamb taps his head to say, let's work together here and bridge the gap to the runners behind. There are 9 minutes to go, so it's true. If they did start battling away now, they would see the likes of De Montfort A and Sheffield A catch up with Sam Lovelace at the wheel for De Montfort A. Blue helmet and suited driver that you'll see just in the background of some of your shots as we look at these two leaders. But change of lead confirmed then as they come through onto lap 21. It is now Charlie Lamb who leads for Nottingham A, a squad who have been at the sharp end of the BUKC for all of its at least recent history. They are super consistent, are Nottingham A, more so than any other team I can think of, to be honest with you. Somehow they managed to retain this level, this standard. I suppose you could point to unis like Oxford Brooks, excuse me, who often keep it consistent as they try and get by the 54, and that's given the opportunity for Sam Baxter. Ever the opportunist takes the opportunity side by side. They are heading to Cafe Corner. They'll surely have to sort themselves out coming through there. How does that come out? It still goes the way of Charlie Lamb, but wasn't that the opportunity for Sam Baxter there as they were trying to put a lap on the 54 card.
That is Birmingham C, your old mob, Howard. But yeah, brilliant stuff from Sam Baxter there. Not giving up, not playing ball. He still wants to be leading this race, and it is great to see. They've got a fairly decent gap back to De Montfort A of about 2.4 seconds. So whilst that is certainly attainable, it's still a fairly significant gap, as there is a penalty for Manchester A. They are all the way down in 36th place, and there's nothing really to worry about them.
2 positions per offence on track limits. There was a small amendment made actually to the rules following PFI with regards to track limits, mostly around the fact that the organisers can choose to change the rules on that, not change them completely, but just introduce slightly harsher limits if they have a lot of things going on. But what a fastest lap has just come in from Nottingham A. Charlie Lamb really trying to break the toe of Sam Baxter in the Bath A car, 45.815. We're looking... Sorry, James.
Sorry, those are numbers you do not hear very often at Buckmore Park in Club 100 cars. 45.815. I can't even... That must be getting towards a lap record, surely.
Sam Lovelace trying to put a lap there on the Birmingham C car. Has to do it carefully, of course, because Sheffield A is right with him. They've paired off, really, amongst the top part of this field. And he's got the close attentions of Ami Yerger there as Sam Baxter's trying to negotiate. And I wonder if this is just, on a small extent, Sam Baxter doing a brilliant drive, but struggling to get through the traffic cleanly here, which, as we keep saying, is par for the course in the BUKC. He's trying to get past the Newcastle A car. He's now got by.
Newcastle A, sorry Howard, Newcastle A were fighting relatively hardly there. You can see Sam Baxter furious with that driver, trying to say, let me through, but I think, obviously in his pursuit of Charlie Lamb, but it's a difficult one. Like, what if the Newcastle A car has literally been all by themselves for the majority of this race?
Let's have a look at this battle. This is Exeter A versus Trinity A and Huddersfield A in the 8. And Trinity A has come out on top there, and also in the mix is De Montfort B, in the number 40. So this is a tasty little battle that's just all switched round. Exeter A there have benefited the most. They're now in 5th place. Trinity A are in 6th. 7th are De Montfort B, and Huddersfield A dropped down to 8th there. It's all kicking off now throughout the field as there's a penalty given, forcing a driver wide. I'm not too surprised to see that one. So that's a couple of penalties for them, unfortunately.
Coming back to the Trinity car, Sam Johns, brilliant drive from him, starting in 20th place. So fantastic to be riding up there in the almost at the top 5. The Exeter A car got a little bit of a gap now, but there's we have a penalty for Coventry B, and they are down in 25th place. So they're not in the running for this one. Meanwhile, we look at there's a decent scrap now going on between De Montfort A and they've been caught out. I believe that is the Newcastle car, who's fighting absolutely everyone and anyone coming his way. UEA get a track limit warning, but Ami Yerger certainly now definitely getting much closer to the back of De Montfort A. Brilliant driving there.
You say Coventry B aren't in it. They're not in for the win, but they are in amongst an incredible battle going on. The likes of Warwick B, Brooks D, themselves Coventry B, and Nottingham Trent B. We're all locked in quite a close battle there, so that penalty's going to kick them back a couple of positions out of all of that. So it is costly for them, as ever. The midfield strong battling away. What else is happening out there? There's a great battle happening between Bath B, Loughborough A and Brooks C. That's over 9th place. All things to keep an eye on your live timing off to the side of your screen there. We're sticking with the battle over 3rd place. Sam Lovelace of De Montfort A and Ami Yerger of Sheffield A in the 16 and the 18 karts respectively. This is a Prem class runner in the form of De Montfort A versus a Clubman class runner in the form of Sheffield A. Another team with somebody collected.
That was London South Bank, the team that I'm fairly certain must have put themselves into first place, and maybe in a little cheeky bit, if you can note, they were already leading that early on, and I'm pretty sure they've had several penalties throughout this race. Might we even see a black flag? Who knows? I don't think we've seen any today, but anyway, we're now sticking with this De Montfort A and Sheffield A fight. Ami Yerger versus Sam Lovelace. Sam Lovelace getting the move done on Ami Yerger early on. We've got 3.5 minutes left of this race. What can Ami Yerger do? As it looks like they are also coming up to the back of some back markers. So they, as we saw in the last race, they will play a part for sure. We've got the 13 of Southampton A and the 61 of Queen Mary A. And then London South Bank as well, heading up the hill through Cafe. We've got what have we got? So we just picked up the leaders there, Nottingham A and Bath A. It's a 1.3 second gap. Bath A just taking 2 tenths out of Charlie Lamb there in the Nottingham A kart, but it's still sort of as you were heading into hairpin 1.
4 seconds back from these guys. Should just say that battle that we checked in with earlier, the one that led to De Montfort B getting that penalty, if you remember. Ryan Luscombe in Exeter A running in 5th with the Trinity A kart, the number 12, right with him. So that battle hasn't died down. Sam Johns, very experienced driver at the wheel of that one. Huddersfield A trying to keep with those two, but they've dropped back a little bit as well. We're not 100% on who's in all the Huddersfield karts today, because apparently they've switched it around a bit at the last moment. So
very
I'll
sorry,
tell you who's in that one.
very good driving there from the, I think that was Newcastle A, getting out of the way of Ami Yerger and Sam Lovelace. Backmark is still definitely playing a part in this race as they now come past the Queen Mary A kart. Sam Lovelace now got a kart between himself and Ami Yerger, however it is you are meant to say it, but the 61 still in the way of Ami Yerger and Sam Lovelace, and I've got a distinctive feeling of a possibility as penalty for Brighton B that this might signal the end of the battle for 3rd place.
At the start of the race, we were on board very briefly with Sam Spinell, and he ended up in the wall. Have we noted the fact he's up to 10th? From the absolute back, Sam Spinell in the number 1 Coventry A kart has got himself up to 10th place.
How is that? Wow! I am
from the wall into the top 10. He's got the job done, because that's what Sam Spinell does.
Very close fight for 5th place between Exeter A in the number 5 and Trinity A in the number 12. They both crossed the line pretty much right by each other. There's about 10th and a half in it in that fight. Hopefully we might be able to pick that up on the camera, but for the moment we still follow the Sheffield A and De Montfort A fight. The 61 of Queen Mary getting very much in the way. Another penalty there for Brighton.
It's getting costly. They've accrued at least 6 positions worth of penalties, I'm
afraid. And here we go. We've got the fight. This is the closest fight on track now for the remainder of this day. So we might get one more lap in after this one, and I think that is exactly what we're going to do. Wait to see if we get the last lap board. No, we're going to get one more lap in this race after this one. So we're on the penultimate lap now. It is Sam Johns versus Exeter A, piloted by Ryan Luscombe. So Ryan going into hairpin 1. Sam Johns getting a little bit out of sorts coming out of hairpin 1, and also because they've got back markers, they've got the back markers that Ami and Sam Lovelace got earlier. How are they going to negotiate them? Well, Sam Johns has just gone down the inside out of the S's, so he's now right behind him again. The 61 of Queen Mary A sliding wide through Symes Sweep. They've got the London Southbound right in front of them. We're now going to be coming on to the last lap any moment now. Sam Johns got a little bit of a gap to Ryan Luscombe now. So hopefully, for Sam's sake, maybe he'll be able to get something on this final lap.
Charlie Lamb, here he is, just has to bring this one home now. He's 2.5 seconds to the good ahead of Sam Baxter, but Baxter is still going to bring home another fantastic result for Bath A, a team really in their ascendancy in this season. But this is going to be a good one for Charlie Lamb, provided he can just guide it around the last few corners. No immediate traffic by the looks of it to interfere, as he's going to bring this one round now through the centre S's. Who is going to take the 5th place? We're going to keep our eye out for that one as well. But Charlie Lamb is going to come through to take the win in race number 3 of round 3 for Nottingham A. Bath A, Sam Baxter gets a brilliant result in 2nd place. It's Sam Lovelace for De Montfort A, Ami Yerger for Sheffield A, and then it is indeed Ryan Luscombe who holds on for 5th for Exeter A, ahead of Sam Johns of Trinity A. De Montfort B finished 7th, but we know they have some penalties to be applied. Sam Spinell from the back up to 8th place. Amazing drive. That could still count. That might still not be one of their drop races. I'm absolutely bowled over by that one. Amazing stuff from Sam Spinell there. Huddersfield A are going to finish in 9th. 10th, rounding out the top 10, is going to be Loughborough A, with James Mills driving for them. Good drive from him. You've got to say that was a race where, when we talk about the championship, you've got to be thinking that Loughborough A will be looking to take points off of Coventry A, particularly if Coventry A end up in the wall, and still Coventry A finished ahead. They really are a tour de force to contend with at the moment.
That is why they have got the number 1 on their car. If you can finish in the wall, and at the start of the first lap, and you finish 8th.
It's not recommended, we should say.
No, don't drive
you
the
know,
towards at
but
all.
highly
It's
impressive.
Very impressive indeed. I'd love to be the person to go down and tell Sam Spinell that we didn't get any of his drive through the field on the live stream on the onboard camera, but you know, at the end of the day, it's still a fantastic drive, and yeah, we're gonna have to leave that one with him. But no, a very different race to the race we saw beforehand. Clean racing, mostly from the front of the grid. I think a little penalty in there for De Montfort B at one point, but yeah, race of attrition. Race of tactical race, and yeah, but still brilliant to see, and a very good victory for Charlie Lamb in the Nottingham A car.
So on the grid, we're going to start cycling between races 3 and 4. That's from a lightweight through to a heavyweight. We're just pausing to see if we can take you down to Jacob for this one. Let's repeat what happened between our last few races, but do hope you're enjoying the coverage either way. The karts will now be fueled up again. You can see on the shot that you've got right now the Club 100 staff in the high-vis jackets pushing the fuel Bowsers up the grid to fuel up the karts. And I think, are we having a weigh-in? I think we are having a weigh-in. So the lightweights now will get weighed to check that they are over the 75 kilo limit. So that's why they're queuing up. So this means we will get a natural pause between the races, or a slightly longer pause than normal.
Obviously, wait. Obviously, today of all days, playing a very big part in the race. So it's 75 kilos we're looking for these lightweight drivers. Some of them you would imagine are going to come in decently over, but I can spot out of the corner of my eye. For example, there is a man I can see there in a sort of a yellow and blue suit. He definitely looks of a certain figure that he will be quite far under. Let's hope that he is weighed up as much as possible.
Whilst this is going on, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with you for race number 4 in a moment. Welcome back to coverage of round 3 of the British Universities Karting Championship from Buckmore Park in Kent. My name is Howard Mitchell. Alongside me in the box here is James Johnston. And down on the grid is Jacob Harris.
But we're having some form of
We're having some difficulties. Are we trying him again? Okay, we'll try and go down to Jacob and get some of the driver's thoughts.
Talking now. Okay, sorry, we are back on the grid with a few technical difficulties, but we are down with Charlie Lamb, who won the last race. Charlie, starting in 14th, you made your way to the front pretty quick.
Yeah, I just worked through the pack, didn't panic, made some clean moves, got to the front and chased down the leader. Just sort of kept calm for the whole race, did some good laps. It was a right race.
You're starting to become a regular front runner at the BUKC now. What's the secret to the pace?
I don't know. I feel like last year I was sort of learning it, and this year I feel more on it. Just sort of used to the karts and everything. Just, yeah.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Yep.
We're still encountering some technical difficulties.
Look, Charlie doing the classic chilled winner there. It's like, yeah, I don't know really, I just learned it. I'm like, how are you doing this?
I would love to see just for once. It seems it always happens in the BUKC where the winner is generally quite chilled. Can we not just for once see someone getting absolutely?
I would be
so hyped for the fact that you've won a race. Like surely we can see some animation.
But maybe that's it. Maybe we're just too frantic to win a race.
It's
I don't
possible
know.
because
I'd be crying. I'd be thanking my mum, my dad, everybody.
I'm thanking my dog.
Yeah.
But
my tortoise. I got a pet tortoise.
There we go.
You know.
There we go. Shout out to Howard's tortoise.
Yeah. Should probably say my fiance as well, lest I get into trouble for that.
We're not doing that. I think we're going to be staying with us for the moment.
We are. So we're going to go into race number 4 of round 3, which is going to be the second of our heavyweight races. So they'll need to be up to 85 kilo. I'm just looking at the confirmed results for race 3, and I can see no disqualifications. I say that in particular because we just had a weigh-in for those drivers. So happy to say that everybody who was weighed was compliant with the minimum weight limit for that lightweights race. But now we go into the heavier class. Can see the leads lot there getting ready. Could just see, I was about to say Jack Fisher's the one in the black coat, but everybody down on the grid is wearing a black coat today.
Well,
just to make it. Actually, no, there's a nice fetching blue coat there at the front from the Kingston lot.
We've got a karting blue down there as well.
It's true. Bath looking. I'd still love the fact that Bath are rocking their fantastic blue and yellow suits of many a year, and I've spotted the old blue Birmingham suit as well out there today. Some good vintage suits, and Leeds, of course, in there.
No Warriors of white or green though. No Warriors of white or green though.
No, unfortunately not, I'm afraid, mate. But the Leeds lot have their green, white and red going on, which always looks a bit Italian, sort of almost like they've it looks really good. I don't want to take away from it, but it almost looks like they've come in from the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Cup or something. But anyway, we are clearing the grid now, so let's call it and say we are going into race number 4. Race number 4 then of round 3 of the British Universities Karting Championship for 2020. Let's go straight into a grid then if we can get the graphic up for that. I was talking about the Kingston lot at the front there. You can see the very bright helmet there of a certain Andrew Hunt who is going to start this one from pole for Kingston A with Southampton A's Diego Martinez De Luca alongside. That's your front row of the grid then. Kingston A with Southampton A. Leeds B and Manchester Met A are going to make up row 2 with Bradley Weymouth and Bradley Caps-Jenner respectively there. Newcastle A have Harry Jones and Newcastle B. It's an all Newcastle affair in row 3 with Carl Knighton for the B team there. Row 4 is going to be Coventry B with Pavlo Denisenko and Jack Noller for Brooks C. Row 5 looks like this. Ryan Williams, experienced driver for them, taking the Coventry A car with Fraser Glasby, the Nottingham Trent B driver there, rounding out the top 10. Rorick B's Thomas Sheriff and Loughborough C's Matthias Reed-Simpson makes up row 6. Row 7 is Anthony Small for Queen Mary A and Michael Grebe for Manchester A. Row 8 is going to be Mark Cuthbert for De Montfort A. Very experienced driver is Mark, and Josh White will pilot the Birmingham A effort. Harry Farnhill takes the Trinity A kart from the 17th. Look out for him. Oliver Davis for University of West of England A. I feel like they've been in many a good battle already today. Look out for them as well. Tom Thickpenny pilots the Loughborough A kart from the 19th with Andrea Montesano, rounding up the top 20. Row 11 is Brad Butcher for Brooks D with Harris Warburton for Imperial A. Row 12 is Henry Jackson of Nottingham A and Jensen Brown for Exeter B. Row 13 is Albert Legutko for Warwick A and Josh Kraft for Exeter A. Ryan Denny of Brighton B and Jack Hodges of Huddersfield A make up your 14th row. Although bear in mind we have got to take the Huddersfield drivers with a bit of a pinch of salt because I think we've swapped the order around a little bit. Adam Hopton starts for De Montfort B with Nathan Phillips alongside for Birmingham B to round out the top 30. Ewan Clements of Bath B and Callum Barnett of Sheffield A make up the 16th row. Row 17 is Maciej Jankovic for Warwick C and Aaron Pretty of Nottingham Trent C. And coming from the back on row number 18 we have Christopher Black for London South Bank A and Sam Cornwall will be one to watch to see how far he can come from the back for Bath A. That's your grid for race number 4, one of our heavyweight races for the BUKC Mains Championship for 2020. Myself, Howard Mitchell, and James Johnston in comms.
Very good grid we've got here for the heavyweights, including, of course, Harry Farnhill, last year's heavyweight champion in the Drivers' Champ. He is starting down in 17th place for the Trinity A kart, so we're going to be watching his progress with close interest. Hopefully, obviously, the last heavyweight race delivered an absolute barnstormer race. We'll get one exactly like that again. That would be absolutely fantastic.
I love the way Alistair Irvin is out again for the club. And if you see the 120, folks, that kart with the bright pink helmet, not in this race. I think they're just sending Alistair round and round. Maybe they're not testing the car. Maybe they're just testing Alistair.
Testing Alistair.
Just stress testing him.
Getting an official Club 100 racing team going for the future.
Who knows?
I always, back before the days I knew his first name, I always like to refer to him as Esteban Irvine, the retired / still driving Formula 1 driver on the grid. You can obviously tell how that sort of joke goes down around here. We don't need to say anything about it. The 3 laps of practice are done for this particular event. They're now going to form up into the grid. If anyone's watching, not familiar with Club 100 racing, never really done a rolling start before, let me just briefly take you through it. The drivers have got to find their way after a 3-lap practice, get back into the correct grid position. Obviously, you've got to make sure you are observant before the start of a race. Notice who you are in amongst. Obviously, if you're starting at the front, it's relatively easy to work out. But if you're starting in this midfield pack, if you're starting out position, you fall behind or you fall further in front, you've got to make sure you work your way back or forward to where you are meant to be. It can prove difficult sometimes, but most of the time, generally speaking, with the exception maybe of the London South Bank team at the start of the last race, it's a very good effort so far.
I'm interested to see actually how Andrew Hunt does off of pole here for Kingston A. One of our clubman teams, but he's not inexperienced by any stretch of the imagination. He has though got Diego Martinez alongside him for Southampton A, and he's definitely a driver who will be looking to seize the opportunity. You can see him there in his silver helmet, an orange and black suit there, but Andrew Hunt with the bright high-vis helmet, you're not going to be able to miss him in amongst this field.
A very popular colour around here.
It is. It makes it easy to spot, although ironically, if enough people do it, it makes it difficult to spot. But anyway,
exactly.
I think we may be good for a start this time around. So Andrew Hunt on pole for Kingston A, Diego Martinez for Southampton A, and then your second row is Bradley Waymis for Leeds B and Bradley Capps-Gemma for Manchester Metropolitan A. We're going to be good for a start then. It's going to be eyes on the lights, engine notes rise then as Andrew Hunt leads them away. It's a very good start from the pole side of the grid, but immediately Diego Martinez is off to cover them, only attack into turn 1 as there's a bit of Noah's arcing side by side through 1 and 2, but it's so far all clean as round there. I think that was Manchester Met having a moment I may have seen now. Double check that it's the 44 as they come round. Indeed it was. So that was Bradley Capps Jenner trying to hold on to a moment there at the first major braking zone of the race as they go side by side through the S's for the first time. All looks clean enough as they come down the hill for the first time, and Andrew Hunt has done a fantastic start. As I say, not inexperienced here, and he's been able to hold off any attacks so long as he didn't jump the start there. It was a very good start that he got, but we'll see. Nothing's come up yet, so one has to assume that start has been called good.
Howard, Poleman sets the pace, so if that's the pace he decided to set, he went as soon as they hit the line, as soon as the lights went green, he went. So I'm not surprised at all. We haven't seen anything there about any jump start at all. Meanwhile, we saw the Manchester Met car sliding off through hairpin 1, but it looks like they are having a very decent fight just going there through hairpin 2.
The man there in the red and white helmet here with the gold details, this is Mark Cuthbert for De Montfort A. But make no mistake about it, this is the second uni that he's competed for in the BUKC. Mark Cuthbert, very experienced driver. Going to be interesting to see how he works his way up for De Montfort A, as there's a penalty for Exeter A for bump and pass almost immediately. So that's going to be a costly one for the Exeter A squad with Josh Kraft at the wheel. Now he's a decent driver for them. He's trying to work his way up the field. He's in 21st at the moment, but he's going to be docked 4 positions come the end of the race, as now Diego Martinez has settled into the rhythm. We've got a breakaway group of 4 here: Kingston A, Southampton A, Newcastle B and Oxford Brook C. And there goes Diego Martinez for the move. Textbook overtake into hairpin 2, gets the job done on Andrew Hunt. And I think that was Diego saying, let's work together, and Andrew Hunt saying, yeah, all right. I think he was telling himself, I'm going to keep pushing here. It's important, and actually very good strategy from Andrew to, if he does lose the lead, don't let it upset your rhythm. Keep yourself going, as there goes the move from Brook C. That's Jack Noller down the inside of Newcastle B's Kyle Knight. So change for third place as well, and he'll now set about trying to pressure Andrew Hunt, although Kyle Knight's not letting him get away with it for now as they come round onto lap 4. So Diego Martinez leads for Southampton, just set the fastest lap of the race as well, a 46.8 as they settle into the rhythm of this one. But a nice breakaway group early on with Leeds B leading the trade of carts for 5th place at the moment, with Bradley Weymouth at the wheel.
I think I might have delivered commentator's curse, certainly for the opening of this race. Harry Farnhill, looking to see how he did it. After the first lap, he was 12th, but he's now down in 19th place, which is unusual. Wasn't quite expecting that. Meanwhile, we also noticed Loughborough A of Tom Thickpenny, I believe it was. Yes, it was.
Yep.
I could see him move. He's made very decent process from 19th on the grid. He now finds himself in 14th.
Looked like a move was beginning for 5th place there, and indeed Coventry have now got up to 5th place, so that is them up past Leeds B.
It's Rayanne Williams.
Indeed it is,
racing for the Coventry A car. So there's a number of decent starts, no massively spectacular starts going on, but a lot of people making up a decent number of positions in that opening stage. But again, commentator's curse once again. Harry Farnhill now slipping down to 20th place.
Forcing a driver wide has been the penalty issued out to the Nottingham Trent C kart, as one of the Club 100 tester carts just emerges from the pit lane. They'll stay well out of the way. This is the midfield, by the way. You can see there the sort of sunset-coloured helmet of Tom Thickpenny trying to pick his way through this all. He's in the Loughborough A kart running in 13th place, but you're looking at the battle of basically it's Coventry A down to literally everybody down to about 26th place.
Coventry B, they were just going quite defensive heading into hairpin 1. We've got the 26 of Manchester A also getting involved in this fight in Michael Grebe. So again, another driver making decent progress up the field. Loughborough A, Tom Thickpenny finding himself in 12th place. So in this battle
just to pick up on that, just got past Henry Jackson there in the Nottingham kart. As further up the road, Mark Cuthbert in the De Montfort A kart takes 6th place off of Leeds B as well. So experience prevailing in this. I'll say that, Tom Thickpenny getting past Henry Jackson. They're both really, really experienced. But they're going well here, as it looks to me like Ryan Williams has been able to break the toe of this pack. And Mark Cuthbert will now try and do the same on this Leeds B kart. Coventry B, as you mentioned, in there as well, with Pavlo Denisenko at the wheel. He's the one in the blue and yellow suit there, rocking the Banana Man vibe there. And those two in the middle here, Top Thickpenny of Loughborough A in the number 2 and Henry Jackson of Nottingham A in the 9. Two very experienced drivers who I would expect to come to the fore of this pack.
Absolutely. It's also noticing the Newcastle A kart piloted by Harry Jones has fallen down the order, as we've got Tom Thickpenny there making a move. That looks to be on the Coventry B kart, the number 25 of Pavlo Denisenko, as you mentioned, Howard, as we've now got Oxford BUKC setting the fast lap on the race, 46.5. Battle for the lead then, getting nice and spicy, as we've got the 25
that is Denisenko, who's just set the fastest lap, so that's what got him onto the back of Bradley Weymouth in that 21 Leeds B kart. And now Tom Thickpenny wants to have a go in the Loughborough kart. Behind them, Henry Jackson still continues to make progress for Nottingham A. That's a tester kart going down the pit entry, don't worry about that. This is Ryan Williams. You can see here Mark Cuthbert in the 16 De Montfort kart just breaking the toe. Here comes Thickpenny though in Loughborough A's kart, trying to get by Leeds B. He hasn't got the job done though. Leeds B will stamp their authority, and that'll allow Henry Jackson to get right onto the back of them as they come on to the new lap, as Ryan Williams sets the new fastest lap of the race, 46.4, and finally Thickpenny's going to complete that move on Leeds B for 8th place.
Pavlo Denisenko did Tom Thickpenny a massive favour there by going defensive on Tom Thickpenny. He was that allowed him to get onto the back of the Exeter car, and that move has now been done a little bit later than Tom would have wanted, as Harry Farnhill gets himself a little contact warning there. But no, Tom Thickpenny now past the Exeter car, or was it Leeds? I think it might have been Leeds actually. I'll take that back from Exeter, but now he is right onto the back of Pavlo Denisenko. Denisenko going a little bit defensive there, possibly unnecessarily so. Well, Tom Thickpenny was nowhere near close enough, and that is also allowing Henry Jackson in the Nottingham A kart to come to the forefront as well.
And I think I saw Michael Grebe in the Manchester A kart. Yes, he's got by now. So the 26 now ahead of the 21 kart. That's Manchester A ahead of Leeds B. Should say Josh Kraft. Well, you mentioned Exeter. Josh Kraft in the number 5 car is amongst this gaggle of karts. He's, of course, on a bit of a mission to negate a penalty now, so he's going to want to make hay. Haven't mentioned the breakaway group of 4 for a while. It is still a breakaway group of 4. Oh, brilliant pickup on camera. Here is the breakaway group of 4. Diego Martinez. And there, having a look, is Newcastle B's Kyle Knight on the Brooks C kart. No, not the Brooks C kart.
It's Andrew Hunt. It's still Andrew Hunt.
So Brooks C have got up to 2nd place. Brilliant drivers, yeah, exactly, from Andrew so far. Down to 3rd, but still very much in this fight. So it's Diego Martinez for Southampton A who leads. Jack Noller for Brooks C in that 11 kart, the white helmet and red suit. Then there's the high-vis helmet of Andrew Hunt of Kingston A. By far and away the highest place of the Clubman's runners. You have to go all the way back to Leeds B, now down in 12th, to find your next Clubman's runner. So great run so far from Andrew Hunt. And then Kyle Knight, fast driver for the Newcastle squad, for Newcastle B in the 39 in 4th place. But there, you just saw coming into your shot, that was Ryan Williams, who's trying to reel these guys in. He took half a second out of them, the best part of last time around. So I think Ryan Williams is trying to make this a 5-kart battle at the front.
Interesting to note as well, we've got London South Bank A, the first of the lap karts, now sort of getting in the way of this fight, and that has allowed Andrew Hunt to be closed in by
Hunt goes wide, and that's going to open the door for Kyle Knight, and Kyle Knight slips immediately up into 3rd place. So that was just, to be fair, London South Bank right over to drivers left there, made the space for them on the Sisley Straight, as it's called, the start-finish straight here at Buckmore.
It looked to me as if Andrew Hunt did just generally run wide there, nothing to do with the London South Bank kart at all, and obviously Kyle Knight making the most of it. But it has to be said, Andrew Hunt getting still right up Kyle Knight's behind, but nothing quite going for him there. So it's now going to be a case of, can they reel in Jack Noller, and can they then also reel in Diego Martinez de Luca? It's
going worse for Harry Farnhill, who's just picked up a penalty for multiple contacts, so that's going to be several positions dot at the end of the race as well.
Can I just point out that it was Jacob Harris who reminded me that Harry Farnhill won it, not me. It's not my fault. It blamed Jacob. Just putting that out there right now. I will not take any responsibility for the downfall of Mr. Farnhill.
Cone penalty as well for Manchester Metropolitan A's Bradley Capps Jenner. They're running in 11th place, so if they were to finish there, they wouldn't be classified as such because of that penalty.
Absolutely. We're back with Tom Thickpenny and Henry Jackson now. They are running in 6th and 7th respectively, about 8 seconds off the lead. There goes Alistair Irvine on his Club 100 testing kart duties, as they've now negotiated. We've also got De Montfort A.
Well, no, this is interesting indeed. De Montfort A here have caught up onto the back of Nottingham A nice and quickly here. So Mark Cuthbert is going to be looking for a way past Henry Jackson, if at all possible. That's very much easier said than done.
The field is the top sort of the top 8 are relatively spread out at the moment. We've got 2 fights. We've got the fight from 1st to 4th, and then the fight from 5th to 8th. So it all depends really. If the front groups start fighting amongst each other, that will surely bring in these vastly experienced drivers as well, coming in from behind. And if once we eventually get to the point where back markers start playing a part, then surely this is where we could see. I predicted it last time. We had a 6-way fight for the lead. I've just noticed out the window that there is a fantastic sort of 10-kart race heading through Garden now.
There is. So that pack is the Manchester Met A led pack, I think, from about 11th downwards. You'll probably see it in the back of some of these shots.
It's Newcastle A down to about, I'm guessing all the way down to sort of about half B,
so
I reckon.
That's further back 15th. Meanwhile,
sorry, it's Newcastle A. Sorry, Howard, to cut across there. Newcastle A have jumped up massively as it's Trinity A, Barry Farnhill, who have fallen down a further 6 places.
Yeah, we're looking now, though, at Manchester A battling with Exeter A. Remember, Josh Craft in the Exeter A car has got a penalty to be applied. Manchester A's Michael Grebe all over the back of him, though. Another driver in a red suit in this one. They're actually keeping up well with Mark Cuthbert, as there's another penalty for Trinity A and Harry Farnhill. That one is for multiple contact again. So that's going to be expensive, as there's been a change for second.
Yeah, we've got Newcastle B.
Kyle Knight.
Kyle Knight is now in second place. He's overtaken the Oxford BUKC car, Jack Noller. Kingston A and Andrew Hunt still running in 4th place. But as I mentioned earlier, that fighting amongst each other could bring the likes of Tom Thickpenny and Henry Jackson and Mark Cuthbert into this fight.
Something kicked off in the mid-pack battle on that last lap, because Newcastle A went up 4 positions one lap and then went down 3 positions the next. It's now Manchester A in 10th, with Sheffield A, Coventry B, Bath A, Newcastle A and Leeds B taking you down to 15th place. There's a lot of contact warning and track limit warnings as down the inside of De Montfort A goes Josh Craft in the Exeter A car. We're going to get Manchester A's Michael Grebe trying to check in on this one as well. The brilliant battle here that's developed between over 8th place it is, 8th, 9th and 10th. We cut back to Tom Thickpenny there, who's got Henry Jackson for company again. I feel like they've been nose to tail for most of the race. The traffic broke it up a little bit, but they're still going at it. But we look here at Exeter A's Josh Craft, as there's a penalty for Imperial A. ABC bump and pass. That's going to be 4 positions put onto their race come the end of it. I'm just looking to see they're down in 33rd then, so that might put them towards the back in the official classified results, although there's a lot of penalties, I'm sorry to say, coming into play now. The confirmed result may look a little bit different to how we call them across the line in about 11 and a half minutes time.
Absolutely. So Josh Craft getting past Mark Cuthbert in the fight for 9th place. And now, I was expecting Michael Grebe to have come through on Mr. Cuthbert as well, but actually, to be fair to him, Michael Cuthbert doing a very decent job in holding the drivers up. He might be a little bit slower than the 2 guys that he's racing, but in terms of the defensive driving, he's doing very well, as Michael Grebe just getting a little bit out of sorts coming out of hairpin 2.
Further up the road, change for 3rd place. Andrew Hunt has got the Kingston A kart back ahead of Jack Noller in that Brooks C kart. So having a brilliant race is Andrew Hunt.
That's a fantastic job there.
And you could just see there as we cut to this shot, obviously there's this battle between Exeter A, De Montfort A and Manchester A, but just ahead of them, Henry Jackson in that number 9 Nottingham A kart has got onto the back of Loughborough A and Tom Thickpenny. So that's one to watch as well. You could just see them there to the top of your shot. So battles are plenty here as Birmingham B pick up a penalty for forcing a driver wide. Here, though, tucking under Mark Cuthbert, or having a go at doing so, is Coventry B, not Coventry B, excuse me, is Manchester A's Michael Grebe, and he goes for it into hairpin 2 and gets the job done. Meanwhile, their city sister uni, Manchester Met, have just picked up a penalty for bump and pass. There's a lot of argy-bargy going on in the middle of this one.
Gotta love a good bit of argy-bargy in the BUKC. So now, obviously, Michael Grebe in front of Mark Cuthbert. He's got a set about trying to get onto the back of Josh Craft. I think the chance of getting involved with the likes of Tom Thickpenny and Henry Jackson is slim, and it is these 2 we come on to now. They are line astern, about 7 seconds off the lead. So this is the battle for sixth place. There's no one around them. This is just 1 versus 1, and there goes Henry Jackson down the inside of Tom Thickpenny. He gives the finger of let's go and work together, but honestly I don't think with just under 10 minutes of this race left to go, is it worth working together? Why can't they just go and have a good old ding-dong in the battle for sixth place? So is Tom Thickpenny going to send anything down the inside of Garda? Maybe not.
I'm going to disagree with you there. It's only 4 seconds the gap that they've got to close. It is doable. He may as well sit there for a lap or so, unless the opportunity presents itself to take him back. I'd say they should work together and see if they catch up at all, and then after a couple of laps maybe go, all right, this ain't happening, and then do battle. Although they are obviously just naturally racers, so he might go for it here after I've said that. But no, he holds station for now, playing the long game.
He's doing the Konstantinos from the previous heavyweight race, just biding his time, waiting for the opportune moment to make a move. Let's just hope it does not come back to bite him.
Plenty of unions on the move. Warwick A have just got themselves up to 13th, Newcastle A up to 14th, Trinity up to 15th, although with a billion places to be penalised by this point, I have to be honest, as the leaders come through to laps and traffic. Could just see there, I told him it was hard to lose him. Andrew Hunt I just saw, there he is, now under pressure from Rayan Williams. So at some point Brooks C have got back past Kingston A for third. So there is Brooks C challenging the 39 of Kyle Knight. So a bit of a gap now that Diego Martinez has. He's 2 seconds up the road from this pack, so he's broken away a bit. But there's the 39 in second place. The Newcastle B kart, Kyle Knight at the wheel, and then the Brooks C kart with Jack Noller at the wheel in the red suit. Then the high-vis helmet of Andrew Hunt for Kingston A, and he is now under pressure from Rayan Williams, who has been spending so much time trying to catch up to this breakaway top 4 group. Ignore the pink helmeted driver behind him. That's just a test kart out for them. But it's now a 4-horse race kind of for second place, with Diego Martinez for Southampton A leading just a couple of seconds up the road.
It will all depend on how these guys can fight amongst each other. Are they going to work together? Are they going to fight amongst each other? At the moment, they're working together, but I'm fairly sure we'll see Rayan Williams passing Andrew Hunt any moment now. But having just said that, Jack Noller sending it down the inside of Kyle Knight in the move for second place. But is Kyle Knight going to fight back down the inside into the S? He is, but Jack Noller gets the inside line for the second of the S's, and he is now back up into second place. Josh Craft, meanwhile, is Rayan Williams is still behind Andrew Hunt. Andrew Hunt doing an absolutely fantastic job for the Kingston Cup, but the highest placed clubman by far. You've got to go an awful long way back to Sheffield A in 12th place for the next clubman team. He is holding off the championship leaders and winners of last year for the moment. But Rayan Williams now sending it down the inside on Andrew Hunt. Andrew Hunt will switch back to the outside line. Is he going to be able to fight around the outside? He gives it his absolute best, but unfortunately he hasn't been able to do that. And Rayan Williams now moving up into 5th place. Where can this number 1 kart finish in this race? Second place is absolutely doable. Are they going to come under any sort of fight from the likes of Tom Thickpenny and Henry Jackson? No, I think is the answer. But there is
that was very wide. Sorry, James, that was really wide from Noller there in the Brooks C kart, and I thought that Kyle Knight was going to send one down the inside of Garda. You can see he's all over the back of Noller here. Is he going to have a look into turn 1? Brooks C are going to go slightly defensive, just a little bit right of the conventional racing line there, just to cover off any hint of a move there. As you say, James, they've got to be careful here. Rayan Williams is on the scene. Diego Martinez, though, if he knew that this was kicking off behind him, will be loving this, because I don't know that they are going to work together. They will hold station for now, but with 6 minutes to go, they could work together if they can get on the pace, but maybe they've already made the assessment that that's not really happening. I think Rayan Williams feels he has the pace. There is Diego Martinez, he's in the 13, unlucky for some, but at the moment proving well, and there goes Rayan Williams down the inside of Kyle Knight to take 3rd place. Does Knight have a response? He'll have slightly better drive up the hill, but I don't know he'll be able to do anything with it. We're through Cafe Corner now. Brilliant corner to run through. Kyle Knight is in the slipstream, but he holds station for now. Good move there from Rayan Williams, take commentary up into 3rd.
Rayan Williams must have been absolutely chomping at the bit when he saw Kyle Knight and Jack Noller going at it together. I have a feeling he is going to finish very well in this race. But Andrew Hunt now actually sending it down the inside of Jack Noller, Kyle Knight, I believe that is. And he is now back up into 4th place. Andrew Hunt not taking no for an answer, and he is still firmly in this race. Again, fantastic drive from him. Let's see what he can do for the remainder of this race, although it has to be said that number 39 has now got back past. That is Carl Knight in the Newcastle Speed Car, but Andrew Hunt fighting back once again. They're trying to work together, but he's letting him through now.
Smart driving,
agreed, but it has to be said that that little battle has cost them both an awful lot of time in the fight for second place. Speaking of which, Ryan Williams right up now to the back of Jack Noller. As we said, this is why they have that number 1 plate on their car. He started in 9th place and he's now fighting for second. I think if we had a little bit of time left, if there was any indication of back markers in the way, the next back marker in front of Diego Martinez is Maciek Jukovic from Warwick. So I'm not sure that's going to happen, as we now see Ryan Williams going down the inside into paddock, inside into Garda, and the move is done on Jack Noller, who's taking a rather wide line through Garda, leaving himself open for overtakes, and now Ryan Williams finds himself in second place. 4 minutes to go. Can he go and challenge for the lead?
Well, this is the question, is it? What is his pace now going to be in open air? Can he get that open air? Because Jack Noller's not going to want to have given that one up. Him further back is Henry Jackson and Tom Thickpenny, still working together, if anything, although Jackson has pulled out a bit of a gap. Just want to talk about battles further down, if I may. Extra versus De Montfort. That battle hasn't really died down since we were checked in with it. They're still going at it. Birmingham A versus Newcastle A for 15th. Manchester Met A just gained a lot on that last lap, up to 22nd. Still an amazing battle. Loughborough C in 21st, all the way down to University of West of England A. No, they're all changing around. Bath B in 30th. All of those lying astern. Brilliant battles going on throughout the field here, with just over 3 minutes of this one to go. There's your leader, Diego Martinez in the silver helmet. Ryan Williams, what's his early pace? It's not good enough. He's not closing the gap on Diego Martinez, and that's because Martinez has just set his personal best of the race, which I'm just having a look. Oh, that's Alistair. The fastest lap of the race is with the Club 100 test cart at the moment. That's not right.
That's another. It's another 45. I think that's the 4th one of the day we've seen.
I actually think that Diego Martinez has the fastest lap of the race for those who count.
He does by 9 thousandths of a second. It's a 46.085 and a 46.094 for Diego Martinez de Luca versus Ryan Williams. I was thinking Jack Noller might have been having a look at trying to send it down the inside of Ryan Williams, but he's fought against it, and it looks to be, I'm going to say, like, we've still got 2 and a bit minutes left of this race, but I would not be one to say that this might be how it finishes, but I have a feeling this might be how it finishes. Although, what can Andrew Hunt do, the tenacious little clubman running up with all these premieres, the little terrier amongst these pack of Labradors and Alsatians? What can he do? For me, he'd be the one that's going to try and do something in the final few minutes of this race.
Huddersfield A have picked up a black flag at ABC Takeout. That doesn't mean they've just gone and got some takeaway food, as Andrew Hunt goes for it. Well predicted, mate. Could you give me the lottery numbers, please? Kyle Knight there, demoted down to 5th place by Andrew Hunt there, puts the move in. Still, by the way, the highest placed clubman runner by a long way. The next one is the number 18 of Sheffield A, down in 12th place. They're running well. In fact, Callum Barnett has had a brilliant run from the back of the grid to get them up to that position. So good drive for Sheffield A there, as the Club 100 test car gets out of the way of these leaders, as well he should.
Alistair Irvine out of nowhere.
I wonder if this... I wonder if the Nottingham A Loughborough battle is going to kick off in the last lap. You can just see them, they just came into shot there as we cut away. So look out for them.
Can't help but notice, Howard, that Diego Martinez de Luca is in the middle of some back markers at the moment. He's cleared Maciek Jukovic of the Warwick C car, as that's Ryan Williams coming up to the back of him. We're on to the penultimate lap now, as Diego...
and that's not going to help.
He's just been cut off.
And that's going to give Ryan Williams... That's going to get Williams right onto the back of the Southampton A leader.
But Jack Noller is also coming right onto the back of Ryan Williams, who's held up behind Maciek Jukovic. It's 1.6 seconds. Diego Martinez de Luca is now in front of those back markers. Not entirely sure who they are. In fact, I should be able to work it out.
One of them is the Warwick C kart in there, number 16.
Absolutely, I can't. I'm sorry. So it's Queen Mary A again. Queen Mary A being a back marker constantly in the look here, and it's also De Montfort B, as Manchester Met have picked up another penalty.
A lot of penalties this race. It's not been a good race for them.
Sorry, Howard. I believe we have had our first black flag of the day for Huddersfield A.
Yep.
So
that was a moment ago.
That was indeed. We're on to the
Last
last lap now. 1.3 seconds. The gap has come down, but Ryan Williams. Oh, Jack Noller he's having a look down the outside as Queen Mary A and De Montfort B are having a little fight with each other.
And that's
Jack
for
Noller
position.
That is for position. Oh, this bumping is happening, people. Bumping can be confirmed. Jack Noller was trying to go around the outside of Ryan Williams. He gave it his best go, but
Side
I'm
by
not
side
sure.
into Symes. Sorry, James.
No.
Look at that. That's that was not the
They were back markers. They were back markers. They were back markers, Howard.
But that was a brilliant move to give himself. Can he give himself the opportunity on Ryan Williams into the dying moments?
I think it's not quite going to work out. It's going to be Diego Martinez de Luca who is going to cross the line any moment now. Runs over the curve, out of Cafe, crosses the line, takes the victory of Southampton A. But it is Ryan Williams, brilliant drive from 9th place up into 2nd. And Newcastle B on the last lap have overtaken Andrew Hunt. Andrew Hunt, fantastic race from him. It was Nottingham A. It was Henry Jackson finishing in front of Loughborough A. They got close, but not close enough for that fight. So it's Nottingham A, Loughborough A, Manchester A, Exeter A, De Montfort A. Close battles going on all over the place. There's half a second between Bath A, Sheffield A and Warwick A in the battle for 12th. Another little move there. Coventry B 18th over 19th, Birmingham A. But then it's Sheffield A in 12th, Warwick A 13th, Trinity A are 14th, Leeds B are 15th, Warwick B 16th, Newcastle A in 17th. Coventry B getting that overtake done on the Birmingham A kart for 18th and 19th respectively. And rounding off your top 10, your top 20 even, is Nottingham Trent C. But those results are just provisional for the moment. We cannot stress this enough, particularly with Trinity A picking up a whole host of penalty points, and we will see those positions change. And I'm just noticing the 56 for some reason doing the oval track and now cutting through the national bit. Bit of a weird one there, but
I think that might have been because they were lapped post the finish line or something odd. Good race that.
Yes.
Good race, and some nice battles going on, but there's a lot of penalties to be applied, methinks, at the end of that one. Do make sure, if you're wondering, by the way, all official results are going to be posted at results.alphatiming.co.uk/BUKC. So if you've been watching on live.alphatiming.co.uk, open up another tab or another window on your browser of choice and go to results.alphatiming.co.uk and click on British University's Karting Championship. That's where all the official results are being posted. So that was race number 4, the win, provisionally at least, going the way. Well, I think we didn't see any reason why it would not be classified as such, but going the way of Southampton and Diego Martinez. Good drive from him, good boost for the Southampton squad, a team who, where are they currently sat in the championship? I have gone and got rid of that championship table, so I'll tell you about that later. But a good win there for Southampton A, and another good job for Coventry A. I'm going to do a bit of maths in a moment, but I think that Coventry A are really carrying on their momentum from PFI and Wilton Mill. It's really difficult to keep up the pace with them at the moment.
It's not so much the pace; it's the way that they can climb through the field as well, starting low down and just find themselves in the battle for the lead. Fantastic from Coventry, and again, I've said it a few times today. That's the reason they are the reigning champions with the number 1 on their kart.
Absolutely. We're just going to wait and see if we can get a hold of Jacob down there to have a word with the drivers from race number 4. 2/3 of the way then through round 3, but don't forget this is. There are 2 rounds being held today. There's round 3 this morning and round 4. Now, usually, if you follow the BUKC, you'll be familiar with the fact that we do a sprint round in the morning and an endurance round in the afternoon. Not so today. We are doing a sprint and then another sprint round. Who knows? We're going to find out this afternoon whether that has any impact on how the teams perform. You've got teams who are very strong at their pit stops. Does it maybe, relatively speaking, disadvantage them? You know, we saw some of the newcomers to the mains championship at PFI getting used to the pit stops a little bit, such that maybe they didn't have the lightning speed times that we see from some of the more established teams. So that will be something to maybe keep an eye out for. You know, how does that mean that we get more disruptors this afternoon? If you've had a bad round in the morning, do you have a better round? Do you pick yourself up and come back in the afternoon to have a better round, or does the lack of a change of format curtail that attempt? Who knows? We shall find out. but that is all to be discovered.
In terms, just coming on to your new teams to the championship this year, Bournemouth A versus London South Bank A. Bournemouth A, ace in the hole, Ryan Hudson finished his race in 15th. So considering the Michael Houghton finished in towards the upper echelons of the grid, I think we might be seeing it's going to be close between those two teams, I am predicting. But are we able to go down to Jacob in the pits? It would appear so.
Let's head down to him now.
See if it works.
Okay. And I believe we are down on the grid with Diego Martinez de Luca, winner of the last race. Diego, tell us how you did it.
So I started second. I managed to get second in after the first few corners, and then I just passed the guy and that was it. I stayed up front. I saw them coming. They weren't really catching up, so it was just managing the pace. But it was okay.
You've always been my favourite Southampton driver, obviously. You haven't had the best of seasons this year, though, as a team.
No, so the things that we can't get our consistent team to come, so there's always people dropping out. It's a bit difficult. Qualifiers we did okay, but then, I don't know, this is a bit difficult. Because Chris and Kirk, who should be here, they're not. So
where are they?
Chris, he had to stay because of uni work. I don't know. He was making up excuses. He could have come. And Kirk, I don't know. Kirk's a bit of a... you never know with him. So he says he's going to drive a championship in last race, so that should be a good one.
Tell him I want to see him at GYG as well.
Okay. No, that one's not happening. I'm not even going to GYG as well, so it's...
So you are giving it large about how they're flaky and you're not even coming to GYG.
I mean, yeah, it was just busy as I just couldn't get the dates to get it to work. So it's
shocking. Congratulations on your race win, but terrible, terrible commitment.
It is, yeah. No.
Diego, for everyone. Right, let's have a quick chat with our champions, and we've got Joe Fowler jumping in the cart for the fourth and final race. Joe, decent day so far for Coventry. Rayan in that last one, and Tom Fox did well early. Obviously, Sam had a bit of misfortune, but still did a good race. What can we expect from you?
Top 20 maybe.
Top 20?
Yeah.
It's a bit ambitious, isn't it?
This one. I don't know.
What's the team spirit like in the Coventry team? Do you guys get on? Do you and Sam see eye to eye?
No, we argue all the time. Like group chat on Facebook, it's just constant, bickering and fights and everything.
Any plans to resolve it at all, or do you think it's just going to be, volcanic relationship to the end of the year?
I don't know. I think probably all fall apart, mate. Well, George will come back into the A team, probably revive it a bit, But yeah.
See, there you have it. Ructions in the Coventry team. Thanks for talking to us, Joe. Let's shuffle a bit further back around the Huddersfield guys who we had a quick chat with earlier. Let's see if we can get in with Team Warwick. Who have we got in the cart here? Who have we got here?
Rana Menon.
And how are Warwick doing today?
Pretty good. Our C team's just performing above where we thought. Pretty happy.
You've got a former Warwick driver knocking around with a pink helmet. Any explanation as to what Alistair's doing today?
No, not yet. You have to ask the boys.
Right, no understanding. What can we expect to see from yourself here in this race?
The only way's up.
I like that. I like that attitude a lot. All the best with it.
Cheers.
Okay. Let's jump a few carts back and see who we've got right at the back of the grid. In fact, I'm not even sure we can go right to the back of the grid, but let's go chat with Piers, actually. Piers has had some good news recently, and so he'll love a quick chat. I'm going to jump in here. Piers, where were you the other week?
I was busy, mate.
What?
And also busy being poor. I ran out of money, mate. Student life's difficult, when you're buying all those pot noodles and beans, sometimes you have to choose pot noodles and beans over karting, which it pains me, but...
Are we at least going to see you for the rest of the season?
I would hope so. I think so, yeah.
GYG next week?
Yeah. Okay, well, I've already paid for it, so I'm not going to eat between now and then, so I might have to buy some more lead, so we'll see how that goes.
Good man. Whilst we're here, I will say congratulations on you getting a British Formula 3 drive. How does it feel?
Mate, it's sick. I still can't believe it, to be honest. I've been testing yesterday and the day before at Snetterton, and I'm just like, what is going on? I was in the press conference and in front of all the journalists and stuff, and I'm like, how have I got here? But no, I'm absolutely loving it, and we feel really good in the car, so I'm looking forward to the season.
How is that in any way different from being here before me?
Oh no, this is the pinnacle. Like that's a bit on the side from the BUKC, obviously.
Yes. And what can we expect to see from you in this race, just quickly, whilst everyone starts their engines?
Whoa, I don't know, probably some karting. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say some karting, yeah.
Okay, looking forward to
there
that.
might be some accelerating and potentially some braking as well.
Yeah, any clutch action?
Probably not. But thank you, mate. Oh, yeah.
Understandable. Piers, all the best. See you later. Piers Pryor there for Loughborough A. The karts are starting their engines. We'll head back to the commentary box. Howard and James talk us through this last lightweights race of the morning.
Welcome back to the BUKC here at Buckmore Park. We are ready for a grid, although I've just noticed someone being pushed off. Maybe that person was not quite ready for the start of this race.
Whilst we're waiting for that to start, I think it is worth we just echo that.
Yes.
Massive congratulations to Piers Pryor.
Yes,
for his side
absolutely.
into British Formula 3. Massively deserved.
Yep.
Hugely experienced driver, a talent that we've had the pleasure of commentating on for a number of years.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was racing against him back in the Buckmore Park Solo Elite Endurance. I believe at one race he lapped me twice.
Yep.
So it's brilliant to see someone coming through karting, regular hire kart racing, our drive stuff, to actually now be recognised and racing in doing it pretty much professionally. Fantastic for Piers. But anyway, let us now get through this grid. So on pole position it is Loughborough D. This is an ineligible driver that they are fielding. We don't know who it's racing. So second place, and I'm going to try and not get too excited because it is Swansea A. Alex Rees starting for second place. Trinity A, Ben Gilbert in third, and in fourth place it's another regular of the BUKC and Club 100, Daniel Cohen. Hertfordshire A in fifth with Will Dowling and Rory Smith, one to watch for this race for Birmingham A. Queen Mary A, Yannick Brandt are in seventh, and in eighth place it is Ben Watkin for the Loughborough C kart. In ninth place it is Oxford Brooks A, Tom Geeney, and Newcastle B, Ollie Underwood starting in 10th. 11th place for Joe Fowler, and in 12th place it is Diego de la Torre. 13th place to Nottingham Trent A, Dante Dillon, Dante's Inferno starting in 13th place, and it's Kingston A starting on in 14th place. 7th row, 7 levels of hell for the Dante's Inferno there. Going to keep with that reference. Huddersfield B starting in 15th, Kaiser Santoso in 15th, and 16th place it's Coventry Bree and George Brisden. Can he get a race win out of this one? We will wait and see. Trinity B are 17th, Angus Rankin starting there, and in 18th place is Jordan Herman for the Birmingham B kart. Bournemouth A, with a new team to the BUKC this year, James Harrington in 19th place, and in 20th it is Sheffield A and Jack Willis. 21st to Warwick C and Rana Menon, and in 22nd place it is William Stacey for Leeds A. Bath A, Alexander Darcy starting in 23rd place, and in 24th it is Loughborough B and Giulio Perroni. And we're waiting now for 25th. In 25th place, we have Oxford Brooks B, Aidan Lear. And in 26th place, it is that man, of course, Piers Pryor. Brighton B are in 27th with George Rouse. And in 28th place, it is Nottingham A, Ben Brewster. In 29th place, it is Samuel Gerard. And in 30th, we have Imperial A, Ibrahim Nasser. Brighton A, Ezekiel James are 31st. And in 32nd, it is Rory Cuff for Exeter A again. Another one to watch starting from the back. Cambridge B are in 33rd with Angus Brett. Coventry D are in 34th. That rounds off your grid because Oxford are supposedly in 35th, but they did not show up. They'll be taking this as a dropped round. I am sure that's your grid, and that is your 3 minutes of practice. It would be brilliant to know, if we can, who is the ineligible driver for Loughborough D starting on pole position. As mentioned, obviously we have Swansea A in second place. Alex Rees, obviously, for those of you perhaps unaware, it was Swansea where I raced in the BUKC, graduated last year. Alex Rees joined afterwards, so I'm not as familiar with him as a driver, but I know for a fact he is very fast. Are we good for a race start here? No, we are going around one more time, as I suspected, but hopefully we should be good for one next time around. We will be looking out for the likes of George Brisden and Piers Pryor in this race, coming from the back. Rory Cuff as well, as I've just stood on my cable standing up there. Shall have a look a little bit, but yeah, it's Rory Cuff in the Exeter A kart starting in 32nd place, and someone else to look out for. We've got Giulio Peroni for the Loughborough B kart, and Alexander Darcy is another man who is very experienced in the BUKC racing for Bath A. What can they do from the back of the grid? I think that is what that's going to be the theme of this race. What can drivers from the back of the grid do in this race? They're coming around Cafe, and we are good for a race start here. So poleman sets the pace. It is the Loughborough D ineligible driver on your right, and we are racing. The lights go green, and it's a very good start from the right hand side of the grid. The ineligible driver from Loughborough D comes across and is leading, and it's Trinity A who have taken the lead immediately. Would that be classified as a jump start? They're already into second place, so we'll have to wait and see later on this race. Oh, we've got a big crash, big contact there. Two karts round. There was some collectibles there as well. Looked like I saw the pink helmet of Piers Pryor making his way through, and that is Alex Rees getting swamped there by a number of drivers. Just lost about a good 3 places there, and we shall wait and see. There's a contact warning for Manchester Met A. No sign of a jump start yet, so I think they've gotten away with it. And yeah, so we've got Alex Rees there being overtaken by pretty much everyone, falling now down into probably the lower reaches of the grid. And you just noticed there, coming through shot, we had the pink helmet of Piers Pryor, but it's Loughborough D leading from Trinity A, Hertfordshire A are third, Queen Mary A are fourth, Aston A fifth with Daniel Cohen, Birmingham A sixth, Oxford Brookes A seventh, Coventry A eighth, Swansea A falling down to ninth, and Newcastle B a 10th. That is your top 10 for the moment. Exeter A picking up a cone penalty along the way. That's Rory Cuff, isn't it? So he's already got a penalty, so any hopes of a potential race win already going out of the window there. So we're going to have to see. At the moment, your de facto race winner is the Trinity A kart, piloted by Ben Gilbert. So, because as the Loughborough D kart is ineligible, so won't be picking up any points coming around to start the second lap of the race. The gap staying at about half a second as Coventry A has made a move on Oxford Brookes A for 7th place. And we've got Hertfordshire A, again, their return to the BUKC mains fold. It's Will Dowling. I think one of the main reasons they have returned to the mains this year. Remember, he had a very good performance at the qualifiers this year. We've got the 61 of Queen Mary A now, getting a little bit of a gap to the Birmingham A kart of Rory Smith. So one that was tipped to do well here for Birmingham A today. Just not maintaining position for the moment. In fact, is he going to have a look down the inside? Yes, he is. Rory Smith going down the inside there of the Aston A car. So that is Dan Cohen. No, sorry, it's not. It's Queen Mary A. So Dan Cohen has fallen by the wayside somewhere along the line. Just going to see him across the line. So Dan Cohen's fallen down to 8th place in Aston A. Birmingham A are now in 4th place, having overtaken Queen Mary A. That was Yannick Brandt in the Queen Mary car, as there is now a cone penalty for Aston A. So something's happened, probably down at Garda. The cones are back in place out of my window. So yeah, Dan Cohen not having a good sequence of corners there, losing places, and now obviously having that penalty come back to bite him. Meanwhile, just saw Piers Pryor there. He has climbed, now he is in front of Swansea A, so he is now in 9th place, heading now into Garda. And there goes number 1 of Coventry A. That is, of course, Joe Fowler making the move there. And he's got the move done on Yannick Brandt of the Queen Mary car, but Yannick Brandt fighting in it. They are pretty much free abreast coming through Cafe. We've got, so they cross the line. Yannick Brandt maintaining position for the moment. Piers Pryor now looking for a triple overtake down the inside. There's a lot of contact there. Nearly Yannick Brandt cutting across the front of Piers Pryor, but Piers Pryor has made up a good 2 positions there on the karts around him. I'll be able to tell you in a moment who they are. We've got the 29 that's the 20 of Aston, and there were a number of karts there as well. We've got a cone being knocked loose down at Siamese Sweep. That's a bizarre one for a cone to be getting rearranged. But yeah, so Piers Pryor now going down the inside of Yannick Brandt in a simple move now for that is 6th. That should be 6th place. The live time hasn't quite updated itself yet, as they are about to cross the line any moment. So we'll see where they are across the line. Coventry A, Joe Fowler sets the fast lap of the race. So it is now Loughborough A in 6th place, Queen Mary A falling down to 7th, Aston A staying in 8th place. Remember, they've got that 1 place grid penalty, and it is Oxford A and Swansea A to round off your top 10. Looks like there's some overtaking going on there. Bit of argy-bargy between Swansea and Aston. We've got the 14 of Cambridge A also getting involved. Huddersfield B little bit further behind in this battle, but they are going to be coming in for it soon. So it's very close racing from about 7th down to about, who's that? That's Aston A going wide. Not entirely sure why that has happened. That the Swansea A car has moved on. Maybe there was an overtake through Garda, and that is what forced Daniel Cohen to go wide. That could be a penalty coming in for Swansea. We'll have to wait and see on that. But meanwhile, it is as you were through Conway. So we're now looking at, as Newcastle B have made a move on Leeds A, and Bath A have picked up a penalty for forcing a driver wide. So that may have been on Dan Cohen. Looks to me there's some overtaking going on through hairpin 2. Not quite sure who that was, but we're now following the 29 of, I'll be able to tell you who that is in a moment. That is Kaiser Santoso. They're racing for the Huddersfield B car. They are at the front of this fight for 12th place, and there goes the 23 of Kingston A down the inside of Leeds A. So that's a place there for them. Meanwhile, at the front, Loughborough D, the ineligible driver, got a 2.6 second gap over Trinity A, piloted by Ben Gilbert. So that, again, Ben Gilbert is your current de facto leader once the race comes to end. It looked like there was an overtake going on there. Where was that? That looked to be just coming through hairpin 2. Not entirely sure who that was, but we're now back with the 29 of Kaiser Santoso in the Huddersfield B car. He is still heading up this fight for 12th place, just behind the number 11 of Aston A, Daniel Cohen. Meanwhile, so we're now looking at this battle for second place, or the de facto lead of this race. Loughborough D cross the line. They're ineligible. They don't matter. What does matter is the fact that we've got the 90. Hertfordshire A have overtaken Trinity A. This is what's happened. So it is Will Dowling now in front of Ben Gilbert. I'm not sure live timing is updating itself at the moment, so we'll wait for confirmation of that. There we go. Okay, so Hertfordshire A now in front of Trinity A. Birmingham A still in fourth place, but it is Ben Gilbert trying to go down the inside, and are we going to see, oh my giddy, we've just seen a double overtake from the Birmingham A car, Rory Smith, through sign sweep. That is absolutely incredible. Ben Gilbert is still in front now. Piers Pryor getting involved in the action as well, but oh my word, they double overtake through sign sweep. That is unheard of at this level. Fantastic racing here going on for second place, and now it is Rory Smith in second place for the Birmingham A car. It's Coventry A, Joe Fowler just behind there. Or that might not quite be here. No, it is Joe Fowler, sorry. So it's Joe Fowler from now in third place, and Piers Pryor going down the inside of the Loughborough A car. Sorry, not the Loughborough A car. And they're all Trinity A is getting massively out of shape there. Ben Gilbert dropping down. He was second at the start of the previous lap. He now will find himself in at least 6th. So really unfortunate there, but fantastic racing from Rory Smith, it has to be said. Now finding himself behind Joe Fowler, so an overtake's happened in there somewhere. Piers Pryor, again, coming from about 26th on the grid, finds himself in 4th place. The current Formula 3 driver for Lannan Racing finding himself in 4th place, and now surely going to be getting onto the back of this battle for second place between Joe Fowler and Rory Smith. But it cannot be discredited that Will Fowling for the Hertfordshire A car is still in this mix, and Trinity A also in the background there with Ben Gilbert. So things just calming down slightly, as I've just noticed that Warwick A have appeared with some cake. Gentlemen, you may come in. There's just a little bit of a lull period in this race as they're all sorting themselves out. We will wait to see what happens on the...
There'd be a lull period even if there wasn't a lull period, because cake.
Well put from Howard Mitchell, but I believe you've got some messages. So
I'm still cracking away.
You go back to that. You go back to that. So yeah, we've got. So it is still Joe Fowler leading. Technically, this is the fight for the lead. Whilst they might be in second place, it is the Loughborough D car are ineligible. They will not be scoring points. So this is your battle for the lead. So it's currently Coventry A with Joe Fowler leading from Rory Smith, the Birmingham A kart, and we will wait to see then what happens as this race develops. Piers Pryor in the Loughborough A car is just behind this pack in 4th place. It's all just settling down at the moment. It's a 5-second gap to the Loughborough D car. Looking behind as well, we've got Oxford Brooks A have now overtaken Trinity A for 6th place. Who's in the Oxford Brooks A car? It's Tom Geeney. So Tom Geeney in the Oxford Brooks A car having a little fight there. There's a freeway battle there just coming out of Cafe. Not entirely sure who that was, as Piers Pryor has now set the fast lap of the race, a 45.8. He is right up the back of Rory Smith in the Birmingham A car. What are we going to see here? Piers Pryor now sending it down the inside. Rory Smith going to fight round the outside, but he's forced wide. What are we going to see through the S? Is Rory Smith going to try round the outside of the first S, but just as we come through the second S, gets a little bit too close, collects Piers Pryor, and they have now gone through. Piers Pryor up into 3rd place. He will now be setting his targets on Joe Fowler in the Coventry A car, and obviously for the lead of this race as well. Looking through the grid now, let's look towards the further back. They're coming up to lap the number 18. That is Sheffield A. That is the first of the lapped carts coming up. Obviously Loughborough A have already... Oh, wait, hang on. Loughborough D have fallen down the order. Loughborough D have disappeared. Not entirely sure what's happened there. If there's something I've missed, I'm not entirely sure. But Loughborough D no longer lead this race. They weren't really leading it anyway, but for some reason they are now falling down the order. They're now in 31st place. So what you're looking at now, the battle between Joe Fowler and Piers Pryor, is now the battle for the legitimate lead of the race in total. Meanwhile, let's look at the Swansea. We've got a battle here between Swansea A and Cambridge A. Now, who is in the Cambridge A car? So I'm just trying to have a look on our little machine here, but we can't quite see it for the moment. Let's have a little scroll down. Cambridge A, where are they? I can't find them. So for now, they're just going to be Cambridge A for the moment. But it's Alex Rees versus Cambridge A in the battle for 7th place. There we go. It's Samuel Gerrard. So Samuel Gerrard has climbed all the way from the low heights of 29th place. He now finds himself in front of Swansea A in 7th place. So again, as I mentioned at the start of this race, as my voice just cracked a little bit there, I promise I'm not going through puberty again. But yeah, so as I mentioned at the start of this race, we have got it's drivers coming through from the back is the main theme of this race. Piers Pryor, who started, and there's been a change for the lead somewhere over the course of that lap. Piers Pryor, starting in 26th place, now finds himself leading this race from Joe Fowler. It's about just less than a tenth of a second across the line. Hopefully we can pick up that fight at some point, but for the moment we're following the fight between Trinity A, Cambridge A and Swansea A. So that is Ben Gilbert versus Samuel Gerrard. As Samuel Gerrard goes down the inside of Ben Gilbert, that's going to allow Alex Rees to surely go down the inside into the first S, and he has got that move done through the S's. So it is now Samuel Gerrard in 6th place for Cambridge A from Alex Rees and Ben Gilbert in the battle for 6th place. Track limit warning there for Trinity A, so somewhere along the way that is what's happened. There's obviously something gone wide. Actually, as he was being overtaken, he ran a bit too far wide through hairpin 2, but it looks like he's got a decent run here on Alex Rees. Again, battle for the pride of Wales here between Swansea and University of Wales Trinity David. Getting really close now is Alex Rees to the back of Samuel Gerrard. Is he going to have a look into hairpin 2? No, he thinks better of it, applying the Konstantinos theory of just waiting for the right moment, but he's got to be careful of Ben Gilbert right behind him, and then it cannot be discredited that the Queen Mary car of Yannick Brandt is still behind. Meanwhile, in the battle for the lead, we've got Joe Fowler even just behind Piers Pryor. So Piers Pryor, having started in sort of 26th place, is leading this race, but he's got Joe Fowler right up his backside. And is there going to be anything coming into Conway's? No, there is not. At this point, two very experienced drivers. They are most likely going to be working together. Sam Fowler going to the extreme wide there in hairpin 1, but it doesn't look like anything for the moment. So yes, they are working together. I'm fairly confident, and it cannot be discredited. We've got Rory Smith still in this fight. It's only a second covers the top 3. It's brilliant to see, much better than, it has to be said, than the last race. And I feel like at this moment it is worth throwing the R word into the mix, because according to the weather forecast, rain is on the way. It might not be arriving in this race. We might be able to get in the 6th race without any rain, but the prediction is that at 1 o'clock the rain is firmly on its way as Daniel Cohen in the Aston A car picks up a contact warning. Birmingham A set a personal best lap time of a 45.9, Piers Pryor still on the fast lap of the race, 45.8. And we've just also seen there's a move further down the grid where Coventry B overtaken Huddersfield B for 14th and 15th, and then Nottingham Trent A have overtaken Oxford Brooks B for 16th. The gap now between second and first has just climbed to 2/10 of a second. There was a marshal there just readjusting the cone, so someone's hit it at some point. So again, it is very much as you were ever since Piers Pryor overtook Joe Fowler for the lead of this race. They are working together. They're trying to put some distance between themselves and Rory Smith as Coventry A, Joe Fowler, has just set a 45.737. That's the fastest lap of this race. He is properly gunning for it. He's gone about half a tenth of a second quicker than Piers Pryor, just showing the sheer pace of these racing drivers. Remember, Piers Pryor now racing in F3, Joe Fowler racing for the Coventry A team, winners of last year's championship, leading this year's championship. The Brighton A take a cone penalty, but these guys lapping, doing 45.8s, 45.7s, then Rory Smith just behind doing 45.9s. For reference, I can only do 47s. That's about as good as I can do. So these guys absolutely on top of their game, some of the best Club 100 racers should probably have raced in its history. And now Joe Fowler properly up the back of Piers Pryor. The gap is just 0.091 of a second, and Joe Fowler going to the inside now of Piers Pryor. Is he going to send it down into hairpin 1? Yes, he is, but he runs a little bit wide on the exit. Piers Pryor surely going to be able to get him back on the exit of hairpin 1, and that's exactly what has happened. So Joe Fowler definitely still trying to go for this race win. We've got just under 10 minutes of this race left to go, and right now it is anyone's guess as to who will come out on top, Piers Pryor or Joe Fowler. Obviously that will be, we've got a second black flag of the day for Nottingham Trent A. Obviously that's not their second black flag, that's just the second overall black flag of the day. But yeah, anyway, so Joe Fowler obviously trying to overtake Piers Pryor. That'll be a massive morale boost and confidence boost for Joe Fowler if he can overtake someone now racing in Formula 3. It will show possibly, but did Lana make the right decision? Yes, obviously they did, but we'll gloss over that. Don't want to get in trouble with anyone that I don't want to get in trouble with. As Joe Fowler now sends it down the inside of Piers Pryor into hairpin 2, but Piers Pryor gets a good cut back, and he gets down the inside into the S's and maintains the lead. This is absolutely fantastic racing amongst the two of them. And Rory Smith still hanging on in there, but he's not quite close enough to mount a challenge. But as has been the big case throughout when we've had decent battles for the lead of the race. But sorry, we have just seen there's just been now an overtake. Joe Fowler down the inside of Piers Pryor for the lead of this race through Garda. He now leads the race for the Coventry A team, but the gap is only 800ths of a second across the line. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Is Piers Pryor going to send it into hairpin 1? No, he thinks better of it. But as I was just saying, we have got some back marks in the way, but looks like Piers Pryor now going down the inside of hairpin 2, and he regains the lead. But is Joe Fowler going to get decent drive out of the S's? He's got decent drive, but he thinks better of it. And what this all means is that Rory Smith, you can see it now, Rory Smith firmly in this battle. His pace might not be as good as the guys in front, but having just said that, he just set a personal best of a 45.8. Checks over his shoulder. You're absolutely fine, Rory. No need to be doing that. It is a simple battle for the lead of this race between you three. The gap at the moment is 800ths of a second. As they cross the line, it is now 3 tenths to Joe Fowler and 7 tenths to Birmingham A with Rory Smith. Oxford Brooks A have just made a move for 4th place. That is obviously that's Tom Geeney on Joe Dowling. So Joe Dowling doing a decent job for the Hertfordshire team. In fact, I believe they are completely forget that obviously Birmingham A are a clubman team following on from the effects of that second qualifying day. But now Joe Fowler getting much closer to Piers Pryor. Might we see a second attempt at a move into Garden? No, he's just a little bit too far back. A less experienced driver might have thought about sending it there, but obviously these guys have been doing this for such a long time. They know exactly what they're doing and how to respect each other, how to race each other, and it is beautiful to see in a fight for the lead of this race. 2 tenths of a second is the gap. They are now coming up to the back markers. We've got the 95 of Coventry D. This is the first one they're going to come across. Where is Piers Pryor? Oh, hang on, the 95 of Coventry DD getting massively in the way there of Piers Pryor, and this is surely, they're going down the hill right behind Coventry D. Piers Pryor going to the inside of Siamese Sweep. Joe Fowler pushes him through. Brilliant stuff from there, but this is going to compromise Rory Smith now, heading into paddock. Where is Rory Smith? Has he got past? No, he hasn't. This is massively costly for Rory Smith. Is he going to be able to get that move done? Yes, he is. He's now past them to Coventry D, but he has lost a serious amount of time to these back market, to the guys in front. He's actually picked up a track limit warning, so he's got to be careful he doesn't pick up another one of them. Meanwhile, Joe Fowler still right behind Piers Pryor. We've got the Club 100 test car is out there as well. Not entirely sure who that is. That is obviously a former Warwick driver whose name I can't remember. It might actually be, it could be Ben Simpson, not entirely sure, and he waves the leaders through. Well done there. Again, that is how to get out of the way. Rory Smith now falling a bit further behind. The gap's now second to Piers Pryor in the lead. Trying to look now just to see what's going on through the rest of the grid. Oxford Brooks B have overtaken Newcastle B for 14th place, and Kingston A have just jumped up 4 positions as Joe Fowler sends it down the inside of Piers Pryor, and he is back in the lead. So where he made the move last time, he has made the move again, but it would appear that Piers Pryor is a lot more, is better through the first sector of this lap. So the gap now back to a 10th. This is all going to bring Birmingham back into the into the fight. Rory Smith getting closer. Surely it's Piers Pryor. He's actually a little bit further back than he was on the previous time this happened. So I don't think he's going to send it into hairpin 2. He doesn't. But all this is going to bring Rory Smith back into it as the 92 has come grounding to a halt. You don't see it now. You don't see that very often. Who's the 92? Where are they? Can't currently see them on the list. They are somewhere in this race. It's Bournemouth A. Bournemouth A have suffered some sort of mechanical failure, and they find themselves now stranded in the just out of hairpin 2. What has happened there? Not entirely sure, but yeah, that is a massive shame for Bournemouth. They were running quite well in sort of 20th place or so, and yeah, you can see them falling down the order. A real shame. And we've got another spinner there. Another spinner there. I wonder who that was. Probably best for the identity of that man that we don't know who it is, but there we go. So yeah, spinner there. It's also, it has to be said, it is brilliant to see 1 and 2 leading this race in order. Joe Fowler, brilliant drive from him so far, brilliant drive from Piers Pryor, just to see these carts pushed to the absolute limit. Although it has to be said, we are now coming up to back markers. What are we going to see with this? Obviously these two have been brilliant racing each other. What are they going to be like racing these guys? They worked brilliant together, overtaking that back marker earlier, the Coventry D kart. How are they going to work on this one? I think the Bournemouth A kart has got back underway. Look to see if it's running around. Maybe not actually, can't see it at the moment, but it's definitely not there anymore. Joe Fowler is now he's going down the inside of the 81, that is Cambridge B. There's a penalty for Nottingham A, so that's a 4th-place bump and pass. Now Piers Pryor has actually been caught up behind this the 81 of the Cambridge B car. He's got behind him now. Actually, Rory Smith getting heavily involved now, but he once again unfortunately hasn't been able to get past the back marker at the same time. But Rory Smith properly behind Piers Pryor now. You have to say, if it wasn't for Joe Fowler and Piers Pryor, Rory Smith would surely be in brilliant contention for the win of this race. But that is racing. You've got to put up with what you're given, and so Rory Smith currently finding himself in 3rd place, but still leading the clubman cars. Hertfordshire A are directly behind Oxford Brooks A. The gap between Joe Dowling and Tom Geeney is not that much at all. But Joe Fowler now with a good 8/10 gap to Piers Pryor, but he now finds himself behind the 50 of Brighton B, and he has not been able to get past him through Siam's Sweep. So that is going to cost him now coming into paddock. He's still behind him heading through paddock into Gala. The move now done into Gala, but this is all going to be good news for Piers Pryor. He'll be able to see that visually and see that he has struggled behind to get past the back marker. It all depends now, can Piers Pryor get past this back marker in good time, coming up towards Conways, and the Bournemouth A kart stricken on the side. Not entirely sure what has happened there. Piers Pryor through Henry's Bend, making it past the 50 of Cambridge B, and it is now just himself. He's got no one between him and Joe Fowler, although he does now. I'm not entirely sure who that is. I'm sure that is the 56 of Imperial A. So Joe Fowler getting a little reprieve here as Piers Pryor now finds himself behind the 56 of Imperial A. Oh, and Piers Pryor's just taken out 56. Piers Pryor, I believe, has just taken out 56. He was behind him right up right on him, and then all of a sudden the 56 was pointing the wrong way. And if you're thinking, oh no, he's a back mark, it shouldn't be, that won't be a penalty, no chance. That is not how it works. Even if you are a front runner taking out a back marker, you could still end up with a penalty for that. So we will wait to see with that one. Wait to see what the race controller decides. But meanwhile, for the moment, we're coming on to the penultimate lap. Watching Loughborough A, Pierce Pryor with half a second gap to Coventry A, Joe Fowler. There is one back marker in front of them. I can only assume that is the 32 of Birmingham B. Can Birmingham B do some tactics here for Birmingham A? They've got a contact warning for Newcastle B. Nothing's come through for Loughborough A so far, so we will wait and see. As we said, the clouds are coming in. The rain is surely on its way, but as we're going to be coming up now to the final lap of the race, it is still Joe Fowler leading from Pierce Pryor. He is overtaking the Birmingham B car. Can Birmingham B do anything sneaky to try and send Pierce Pryor into Rory Smith? The answer to that is no. He is not. Pierce Pryor is got past relatively easily, and now Rory Smith is going to find himself behind his teammate in the Birmingham teams, heading down Sun Street. So it looks like, provided that everything stays the same, as Exeter A just make up a couple of places on Aston A and Oxford A on this final lap, it is still Joe Fowler leading from Pierce Pryor. There's no room for a move from Pierce Pryor on Joe Fowler through Garner. It looks like, unless something catastrophic happens through Cafe Curve, they're going to come through Cafe. Joe Fowler is going to win this race, but it is a 1/10 of a second gap to Pierce Pryor in second place. Fantastic driving from everyone concerned. Rory Smith comes home in third place. Brilliant driving from him as well. Oxford Brooks A beat Hertfordshire A across the line for fourth place. It's Cambridge A in sixth. Swansea A with Alex Rees in seventh place. Trinity A in eighth place. Queen Mary A are ninth. Leeds A are 10th. There's a move on the final lap of the race for Newcastle B on Coventry B. They are 12th and 13th. It's Bath A in 11th. Exeter A in 14th, Oxford Brooks B in 15th, Aston A, who have got penalties to come, are 16th, Huddersfield B are 17th, Loughborough B are 18th, 19th for Nottingham A, and rounding off the top 20 is Kingston A. Again, we've just seen a move there on the final lap. I believe that's Trinity B on Warwick C and Loughborough D, so that is 20. So I'll run through the rest of the provisional grid. Pierce Pryor, for some reason, coming around the grid once again. Not entirely sure why he's done that. But yeah, fantastic. Honestly, fantastic racing there from all of them, from Piers, from Joe, from Rory, all of them. It looked to be a brilliant battle for Oxford Brooks A and Hertfordshire between Tom Gearney and Will Dowling. Cambridge A with Samuel Gerrard, Alex Rees, Swansea A, and Ben Gilbert, Trinity A. They look like to have a brilliant race as well. Unfortunately, with the lead of this race being such a fantastic battle, we weren't able to see them, but brilliant racing by everyone concerned. So yeah, that brings the final lightweight race of round 3 to a conclusion. Definitely the best lightweight race of the day. And yeah, really, yeah, we had a fair few penalties come through that one as well. A couple of black flags. Brighton A got one for causing multiple collisions. I'm sure that is what that one will say. Yeah, causing multiple collisions, of course. But yeah, again, fantastic race from everyone concerned. Joe Fowler beats Piers Pryor, the Formula 3 driver, and I'm sure he will be holding that one over Piers for as long as it goes down. And just, it has to be said as well, the lap times are quite spectacular here. The track is obviously in absolutely perfect conditions, perfect grip. We've seen a 45.6 from Joe Fowler in the Coventry A kart. Someone's going to have to look up what the lap record is for Club 100 karts around Buckmore Park, around this layout, because that surely can't be too far off. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. And Howard missed all of it because he was doing math.
I was listening. It was a good race. Good race there. Again, Coventry A with the momentum. As I think we are going to hand down to Mr. Harris, who has Joe Fowler ready for the interview.
I do indeed have Joe Fowler down here. Howard, Joe, you said you could only manage the top 20, but that was pretty good.
Yeah, was it first?
It was first, indeed.
James Ireland was in front though, wasn't he?
He pulled off, he had a mechanical.
Oh,
and also he's ineligible for points because he's racing for Loughborough D.
Fair enough then.
So yeah, race win, congratulations.
Thanks very much. I think I was spurred on by Sam doing so bad in his race earlier. You know. Crashed, almost ruined it all. So I had to pull a result out.
Yeah, a couple of screenshots in the group chat on that one, is there?
Yeah, a lot of screenshots. It might be down to D team for the next round. Not sure. I don't think we can change drivers for the afternoon, can we?
No, you can change between rounds.
Can you? Right, well.
It's a bit late to do it now, but you can. Does this mean that having won your race and no one else in Coventry managing, you're the best driver?
Don't know about that one. I was near the front on the grid again, so... Tom came like 25th to 3rd, but I've got my back grid in the afternoon, so see how that goes.
Good luck with that. I shall speak to you later, Joe.
Cheers.
Joe Fowler, winner of the last lightweights race of the morning. We're on to our final heavyweights race of the day. Jake's here. Jake, come in and finish this story from earlier. So you're saying you've only ever had one car crash?
Oh yeah. So I've only had one car crash. I was driving a box van for our former student team for our university, and it was parked under a wing of a Nimrod, and we had an issue on track. The car broke. We had to rush the van onto the track to get the car in the back of it, and I was a bit hasty and couldn't see the wing from the driver's seat, and just full throttle went forward. Wing went straight through the top of the van. It was quite funny actually. It obviously wasn't at the time. I almost cried, but yeah, my only car crash to date. Touch wood.
Well, we haven't asked many, but I don't think we're going to get many better than that. So here's your prize for winning, a little cake for you.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Jake O'Sullivan, everybody. Speaking of car crashes, let's go have a chat with this man over here. Michael Howden finished 3rd, I believe, in race number 1, was it?
Yeah, from 18th.
But what happened before that?
Totaled my car. Maybe had a pretty off-track incident, but yeah.
What happened? Talk us through it.
Just driving a little bit too well before the track.
You should have saved that raciness for on circuit, where you could have perhaps gone higher than 3rd. Although, how are we looking for this afternoon?
Yeah, no, looking good. Starting pole for the next one, so hopefully you can get some good pace and take the win from there.
There is no prize money, you know that. You will still have to claim on your insurance.
Yeah, I gathered that.
All the best, Michael.
Cheers.
Thanks for talking to us, and let's hope he fixes his car in time for GYG next week. We're going to go have a quick chat with James Mills. James, is this another ineligible one?
Yes, it is, unfortunately.
What's happened in the Loughborough camp? Where have all your drivers gone?
Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. I know Piers ran out of money for the last round, so he says. But yeah, I don't know where they've all gone, to be honest. Probably partying somewhere. The student union.
Shocking behaviour. I'm not even going to talk to you. I'm going to leave. I'm going to find a more committed university. Huddersfield are back there. They don't apply for that at all. Let's go towards the back of the grid, where we have signal for the camera, as well documented today. And let's jump in with the number 95. We haven't spoken with the 95. Who do we have here? Which university?
Coventry University.
We haven't spoken to anyone other than your A team. Things are going well for them. How's it going for the rest of the university?
We're doing fine. We're doing fine. I mean, we are still getting up on the pace, but we're good. We're confident. We're fine.
What's it like going to university with 4 teams? You know, most here have 2. Is it a good club to be a part of?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Everyone, you really feel like you are in the team. So, yeah, it's really good.
And what can we expect to see from you in this race?
Just climbing up, just going through the pack. That's the idea.
It's good to hear. I'm looking forward to it. I shall see you later. Right. Oh, excuse me. Getting refueled. Tom Dent's here. Thomas.
Jacob.
What are you still doing on a BUKC grid?
I've just finished my PhD to the point where my student card's valid for this season, so that's why I'm still here. And as of Clay Pigeon will be my last ever race, and I'll be very sad. Also, I'm not doing Drivers' Champ, so that's going to be sad.
So as of 3rd of April, you're no longer my friend?
I mean, you've still got me on Facebook, so you can still follow my epic memes. But apart from that, yeah.
yet to see any of those epic memes, but what are we lining up in terms of BUKC Swan Song? Can we see a race win maybe before you go?
No.
I didn't think so, but top 10?
I've had a couple of top 10s. Clay's a decent track for me. Today I'm just going out to do half decent because I think we've already come first or second in Clubman anyway, so I'm just going to drift it round, to be honest.
All the best with that.
Thanks very much.
Tom Dent, they're confident that the Leeds team have got themselves a trophy in the bag for the morning. Should we have a quick chat with one more person who's in the 92, showing some lovely little ankles. A, and who's NA, obviously last.
I believe we have lost Mr. Jacob Harris, so we are going to return to the comms block. Welcome back to Buckmore Park from the perspective of the BUKC, and we are getting ready for the final round, final race even of round 3, and this is the final heavyweight race of the day. I'm also very happy to say that we welcome back to the BUKC round 3 the spreadsheet of doom, which has we now are able to predict what is going to happen for the end of this round, or as far as I'm aware, that's what's going to happen.
It is, but let's head now into race number 6. Race number 6 of round 3 of the British Universities Karting Championship for 2020. Myself, Howard Mitchell, and James Johnstone in comms for you. We're going into the last race of this first round of the day. Usually the final sprint race of the day, but we've got a different format that we're doing today in the BUKC with a second sprint round to come for you in round number 4. Little service announcement before we wrap up the stream at the end of this race, by the way. That will be a different stream, so get onto Facebook or YouTube to Alpha Live's pages on there to find where to go for that. We will try and post that on social media for you as well. Who's leading the round? Unsurprising, this one. Coventry A, who have done all of their racing, now have a first, a second and a third counting, incredibly, which means they currently sit on 177 points counting. They've got 231 as their total points tally. Just an incredible amount that they have at the moment. Challenging them, though, for this one as the karts get underway for their practice laps. Is there some rain starting? Oh, we've got the grid first. Let's take you through that.
We've got the grid ready.
Okay, take it away, James.
On pole position, we have the meme lord himself, that is Ocean Bates for Manchester A, and in second place we have Sam Pooley for Trent A. Trent B lined up in third place, and it's UEA in fourth with Kieran Woodhouse. It's Lucas Gross racing for Trent B. Dartford A are in fifth with Phil Craven, and it's Sam Wilson in sixth for Huddersfield B. Warwick B are seventh with Chris Miles, and in eighth place it is Oxford Brooks A with David Haynes. Trinity B are ninth with Ainsley Martin, and it's Ben Allendon for Newcastle A in 10th. Hertfordshire A, George Watson are 11th, and it's Callum James for Oxford Brooks C in 12th. Southampton A are 13th, Pascal Pook heading up Ryan Edwards in the Swansea A kart in 14th. Jamil Sheikh Mahmood is in 8th place, is in 15th place even for Aston A, and it's Adam Kernis in 16th for Leeds B. Loughborough D are lining up in 17th. They will be ineligible for this race, and it's Tom Raw in for London South Bank A. De Montfort B are in 19th with Christian Bessel, and Joe Davison Bath B are 20th. So Huddersfield A has Sam Turn at the wheel in 21st, and in 22nd it is Cambridge A with Sam Massey. Cambridge B line up just behind them with Ryan Wilkins in 23rd, and it's Nottingham Trent C in 24th. Oxford are not in this race, so they will not be starting 25th, so it will be Coventry D that are starting in 26th place, and so we'll bump up Brighton A to 25th based on this morning, and then in 27th it will be Bournemouth A and Dennis Danilov. Leeds A are 20th, are in 28th place, and it's Loughborough B in 29th with Sam Dickens. Oxford Brooks D lining up in 30th, and then after that we will have the driver in 33rd, but in 32nd it is Sam Stevens. 33rd, but that will become 31st, is Ibrahim Yakub for Birmingham C, and it's Jarvis Devon in 34th. And final, last but not least, it is Oxford Brooks B, Daniel Burgess, but he will be starting in 33rd place thanks to Oxford. Service announcement for everyone. The rain has arrived. It was predicted to arrive at this point, and this is where practice makes perfect. We have just seen the 100 of London South Bank going off, coming out of the centre chicane. I saw someone spinning down at hairpin 1. These are the most difficult conditions for a karting track. This is where the rain begins, but it is not coming down massively. Someone else just having a little moment at hairpin 1, not quite spinning, but having to do a little 360 on the exit. And as we saw here, sorry, I was gesturing to me, never mind. But yeah, no, the rain is going to play a massive part in this race, and it's going to continue to play a part for the rest of the day.
Shall we talk the situation for the round going into this last race?
Let's.
Coventry A then are your clubhouse leaders coming into this one. As I said, a first, a second and a third. Another really impressive tally. They've finished their racing for now. They've done all that they can, but they've got 2-3-1 overall, which means to count, because you get one dropped score, they're on 177. Loughborough A have also finished their racing for today. They are sat second, but they are they're on 217. So, but in terms of counting, they're quite close. Nottingham A, who are also not in this one. We've got a lot of people at the front who have done their racing for today. They're on 171 to count. So to be clear, it's 177 that Coventry A have, 171 for Nottingham A, and Loughborough A are on 170. They're going around again, which is lovely, because that means I can tell you about Clubman's. And the situation in Clubman's is that Birmingham A are looking pretty good at the moment for that one. We said that they might be a bit of a one to watch for today. They've also finished. Is anyone in this race? Yes, there are. There are plenty of people in this race, but it's it's a bit of a Clubman's derby out there. But
There are 34 people.
There are, yes. They have set, though, Birmingham A a score of 153. That is, as far as I can tell, the score to beat. Kingston A and Sheffield A looking good for the podium at the moment, but we've got a fair few Clubman teams who have yet to finish their racing, so we'll wait to see how they get on. But those are some pretty strong scores to beat, as I think. Are we getting underway?
Nowhere near.
Nowhere near, okay.
Ocean Bates, who is meant to be starting on pole, is... I'm not entirely sure what's happened here, but...
Bit of confusion.
Bit of confusion. The field is quite spread out at the moment for the start of a race, so this is the first time of the day we haven't had a race start on the second warm-up lap, which was a shame to see, but it was always going to happen at some point.
Indeed. So, Coventry A leading it. They are going to be, I think... In fact, let's put this in now. If they... I think we could say that Coventry may have wrapped this one up.
I think
because I think Brooks A can't overhaul them now, so that may be already done and dusted there for Coventry
might be good
A.
for Howard. We might be good for a race start here. We're
Here
going
we
to
go
wait and
then.
see. Ocean Bates will lead them away for the Manchester kart. Remember that it is raining, but we are now ready to go. So let's see what happens here at the start. Ocean Bates gets a very good start out of the way, but looks to be a lot of loading. They've got a spinner in the middle of the track towards the back of the grid, and we've got the 17 massively out of shape. It is absolute pandemonium heading into hairpin 1. We cut away just so we don't see any deaths that might occur. There's someone going very slow on the outside of hairpin 1.
Start has been called good, though, we should say. No full start flag, so it's going to carry on.
Absolutely.
There's another spinner coming out of hairpin 2. I should say, by the way, just to confirm, yes, Coventry A with that win have taken this round victory, but Oxford Brooks A can still haul themselves onto the round podium in Prems.
Two drivers going off there, the 55 of Yui and the 98 of, I'm not entirely sure who that is, but we will...
it's Bournemouth, isn't it?
I believe it is Bournemouth. 98. Where are they? They're it's Hertfordshire. So coming across the line, we've got Ocean Bache in first place, leading away. He's got a decent gap of 1.5 seconds. De Montfort A find themselves in second. Southampton A have climbed 10 places to find themselves in P3. Fantastic start from them. And it's there Nottingham Trent B in second. The track limit's warning for Oxford C in fifth. But we're looking now at this fight for fifth place between Oxford C and I'm guessing Hertfordshire A as well. But they might have, there's a penalty in there for Loughborough D, but we're not worried about them because they are ineligible. So keep an eye on what's going on in this race. The track looking interesting. We had a sprinkling of rain just before the start, but it appears to have abated for the moment. Met Office predicting a 40% chance of rain, and that looks to be Leeds versus Swansea, heading up towards Cafe Curve. Where is that fight taking place? Let's have a look. So it's Leeds A and B versus Swansea A, piloted by Ryan Edwards, in the battle for 12th places. They are four abreast. They are completely four abreast, heading through hairpin one. Jamil Sheikh Mahmood for the Aston A car. He's had a very good start, having come from the back, but it is some serious argy-bargy going on. The 21 of... Who is that? That's Leeds B. So this is a fight involving Swansea A and so Leeds B, Leeds A, Aston A involved as well, and they are just behind the 34 of Leeds A. Okay, so this is a very spread out fight. We've got moves going down left, right and centre as the track continues to evolve with the changing conditions. As Swansea A have now picked up a penalty, it's a overtaking under yellow flag, so I believe that is a 4-place deduction at the very least. Overtaking under yellow flag is quite a serious offence in Club 100 racing, as it is in all motorsport racing. But now we have the 11 of, who is that then? That is Oxford C versus, I'm not entirely sure who that is, but there was some definite bumping going on through there. As now
there was a hit to the 14 car of Cambridge A, got quite a hit as well. Is that Sam Massey at the wheel of Cambridge A there? I just want to revise one thing I said. On Clubman's front, it's not Birmingham A at the 4, it's Leeds A at the moment who have the advantage. The only people who can take that off of them in Clubman's for the overall win, I think, is going to be Brighton A, but they would have to have an extremely good result to take that off of Leeds A at this point. So,
sorry, Howard, I'm not entirely sure what's happened here, but it looks. Where are Oxford Brook C? Or am I getting my teams confused? I could have sworn I saw 11 behind 103.
You're right to query it.
That's definitely what I'm seeing on track, but on the live timing, we're getting something different. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Meanwhile, at the front of the grid, Ocean Beach is fighting with De Montfort A, coming through to start. Where are we now? We're on to lap 4 according to live timing.
Brooks C, I think, are fine, aren't they, mate? They're registered in 4th.
Yeah, but
they're running.
It's the 103. Where are the 103? Is Aston A pick up a penalty? Meanwhile, Southampton A.
Oh, Nottingham Trent C. Okay.
Yes, sorry, I'm not. I could be seeing things, you never know. But there's been a move. Sorry, as we're talking amongst ourselves, Southampton A, who climbed 10 places at the start of the race, now find themselves leading. They've overtaken Ocean Beach in the Manchester A car and now lead this race. So fantastic move there, but Ocean Beach certainly not giving this one up. Heading now down through Pullman's. What is he going to try into Panic? He's got to be watchful for the De Montfort A car behind. No, sorry, it's Oxford Brook C behind now.
Brook C got through at hairpin 1, mate. So that's now Callum James up into 3rd place and chasing the Manchester A car of Ocean Beach.
And it's Phil Craven in the De Montfort A car.
You can never miss his suit. Nice and multicoloured that it is. This is the look then from Callum on Ocean Beach. Gets the job done into 1 and 2. Does the Manchester A driver of Beach have a response? Not for now. And so now it is Brooks C's Callum James trying to hunt down Pascal Pook if he can get onto the back. But Pook looks to me like he's got some good pace in the car. There's a cone penalty for Newcastle A and a contact warning for Swansea A.
Lot of warnings in this one, Howard. A lot of warnings.
Yeah, absolutely. We might see a few penalties picked up once all is said and done. You can see the Nottingham Trent B kart in the background. That is Lucas Gross having a really good drive for them so far. A bit of clean air, actually, that he finds himself in. He's just got a bit of a gap, goes behind. And here is a look for the move from Callum James. He looks down the inside of Pascal Pook, side by side through 1 and 2. Will Pook be able to tuck under and have a go back at him in hairpin 1? No, he doesn't. What about hairpin 2? Hairpin 2 often seen as the better overtaking opportunity because it's harder if you're successful for the driver who you've overtaken to have a response given the next section of track. But no, it's a done deal, and Callum James heads to the lead of the race for the number 11 Oxford Brookes C team.
Brilliant stuff there. Change for the lead. Obviously, Callum James now leading the Southampton A kart. Obviously, hairpin 2 is a very good overtaking spot, but it does depend on your exit as well.
And this could get Brookes C onto the podium, I should say. If they had this first place, it would give them a score of 171. And remember those scores I gave you at the top. Coventry are on 177. I think they're unbeatable at this time. So I think we can already say congratulations to them. Everything I'm saying is provisional, of course. This is not the official timing or scoring. But Nottingham A are second at the moment in the round on 171, and Loughborough A are on 170. So if you can get 170 and win on countback, or 171, which is what Brookes C would get under this timing, then you can get yourself onto the Prem's podium.
Absolutely. So it is, at the moment, at the front of the grid, it is as you were, but we now have a battle between 74 and 73. Loughborough D, who are ineligible in this race, as we said, it would be very nice if they would kindly disappear and stop getting involved in these races, so we don't have to talk about them because they are ineligible. We're not bothered. But anyway, here we go then. Loughborough D versus Nottingham Trent B in the battle for, well, on-track battle for 5th place, but overall there is not a battle for 5th place, but it looks to me as though we just saw an overtake from De Montfort A on Ocean Beach in the Manchester A car from Phil Craven. We will wait to see that one, but we're still focusing at the moment on the 70 battle between 74 and 73.
Fastest lap of the race has just been set by the Nottingham Trent C car. Dante Dillon at the wheel, and he is has just got past Aston A, and it is the number 20 car.
Sorry, it is definitely Phil Craven now in front of Ocean Beach.
Yeah, it is indeed. As there's a cone penalty.
Thank you
for Oxford Brookes C. Have just been handed a cone penalty, so a cone penalty for the leaders.
Which means now that Pascal Poop will inherit the lead at the end of this race, should he stay there. Got to give a big thank you to Jacob for pointing that out to us. We were being a little bit dim on that one for the moment, as there is also now a penalty for Loughborough B. Now, where are they? They are...
Loughborough D is 6th, mate.
No, Loughborough B.
Oh, Loughborough B.
I've got a penalty for an ABC BAP. They are down in 23rd place, so they're not really they're not in the running for any serious points in this race at the moment. But that is still a big penalty to have picked up. Another team picking up a lot of penalties and or warnings, I should say. Swansea A picking up a few. They're running in 10th place. They're just behind Leeds A, who in turn are a couple of seconds off Huddersfield A, and in fact Nottingham Trent C have just climbed up a good number of positions there. They climbed up 2 positions.
They are having a good battle though, Loughborough B, or were perhaps before that penalty,
for the overall round score with De Montfort A. So with De Montfort A in 3rd, one has to imagine they're going to pip them to the post. That's over about 6th or 7th place in Prem class once all is told. So not great for Loughborough B. Of course, having a success earlier on today.
See, this is the thing I was... Okay, so it's not... Okay, so where the confusion was earlier is Nottingham Trent C, I think, were lower down the order than they should have been. There might have been an error with live time there.
Might have been a transponder issue.
No, could have been a transponder issue. They are 100% in 9th place, leading Swansea A, who are leading Leeds A, but obviously Swansea A have got a good at least 4 place.
This is
penalty.
them. This is Swansea A and Leeds A.
Having a good little battle here. This is a battle for sort of this is a battle for pride, really. In fact, no, it's Leeds A who are trying to
wrap up the clubmen.
They are indeed, but Swansea A, who just about snuck into the Premier class at the qualifiers, are currently in their way. A little bit of a slide there for Leeds A coming through the Simon sweep. Behind them, we've got the number. I think we've got Cambridge A, Sam Massey, number 14. Just behind them, well, it has to be said, he has an absolutely fantastic helmet, green and white. It's what we like to see. Yep. As we now see the number 3 of Oxford Brookes B having a go at Leeds B, but for the moment staying behind. So good driving there from the Leeds B car.
Penalty for Nottingham Trent A, but this is already a race which I think
They are
it's
down.
Not
They're
their
down.
highest position, so this may be their drop score.
They're down in
already.
They're down in 21st place, just in front of Loughborough B, who also have themselves a penalty.
Tom Dent is at the wheel of the Leeds A effort in this one. He's trying to work his way through here, or actually, it's the UWE A kart that's really arrived on the scene here. Kieran Woodhouse trying to work his way through this pack. So this is now a good battle happening here between UEA, Brooks A, who are also trying to work their way up the order. Remember, they could get themselves onto the podium as well here on the Prem's podium and the overall podium as well. Could Brooks A, if they can get themselves up the order. They're not doing enough right now, but if they keep on going like this, they could challenge the podium positions, the provisional podium for this round. Don't be forgetting, this is the last race of this round, but we've got another one coming for you after a short break. That will be on a different stream, so if you're following us on YouTube, head over to the Alpha Live channel where you'll see the link to round number 4. The rain has now completely died away and is not really playing a factor anymore. We're back down into the 46s.
Very close to the 45, that has to be said. Nottingham Trent C currently sitting on the fastest lap, a 46.084. So we're looking at sort of traditional fastest lap times for Club 100, but obviously we've been in the 45s for the majority of this race.
Through the traffic, James, Pascal Pook not interested in waiting for a cone penalty to give him the win. He has got through past Brooksy's Callum James, but Callum James is coming back at him.
It's good to see that from Brooksy, because whilst they've got the penalty, they might think
you want to negate it.
Oh!
And the 17 is off with an issue. This is the Nottingham Trent A kart.
Battery's gone.
Yeah, but in order for that, okay. Either that or something on the left rear that we couldn't quite pick up there.
No, they were, I just caught that how they were changing the battery over.
I see. But he must have come to a stop either way. That only matters if he had to try and start the motor again.
That's
so
an interesting
he must
one.
have come to a stop and stalled it. It's a very unusual place for that to happen as well.
Obviously, we saw quite a big incident there at the start of last year. Not to mention too much, I was involved in that, but here goes Pascal Pook down the inside of Callum James, and in one fell swoop, and there we go, in one fell swoop. Phil Craven tries to come through as well, but Callum James has fought back very well. He's been able to keep Phil Craven behind him, and now he's going to have another go, although he can't at this point because the track is neutralised for that stopped car, the number, what was it, the number 17, which is the Nottingham Trent A car, and they had just picked up a penalty.
They're back underway again, though. There you can see they're just giving away there. Unfortunately, that's race run for Trent A in many respects, but they are still circulating, albeit now in 34th place.
And a lap down on the next car, Cambridge B. Sorry, Howard.
Indeed, this has allowed the lead battle to close up, though. Pascal Pook, there in the Southampton A kart, leads this race. Brooks C cannot win it. The number 11 in second place, even if they get ahead, even if Callum James pulls the moves and get ahead, he can't be classified officially as the winner because they are destined to have a cone penalty applied at the end. But Phil Craven in third place in that De Montfort A kart definitely could do. And De Montfort A...
Hang on, sorry, Howard. Here we go. Callum James down the inside of Pascal Pook into Conways, but Pascal Pook running out wide, and it looks like he's going to get this move down the inside into hairpin 1, and that is a change for the leadership once again. So whilst Pascal Pook will still technically win this race, should it finish like this?
Yeah, but that means he's exposed. That actually means Pook is more exposed, because if Phil Craven now only has to get past one kart rather than two to actually get the net lead here. So Pook won't know this. Well, I'd be very amazed. I'd be very impressed if he did know this, that he knew that there was a cone penalty applied to the 11, and the 11 is the kart that he's immediately racing against. So he won't necessarily know this. That's why you're seeing him battle away here. It's very difficult for the drivers to keep track of, all the various penalties. Leeds A still looking good, as far as I can tell, for the Clubmans, running around in 12th place, and is actually your third highest positioned Clubman runner in this race. Loughborough D are the highest place, but they're not counting. Nottingham Trent B are your net highest Clubman runner.
Sorry, what I was about to say just before Callum James had a bit of a lock-up there is that obviously don't forget for Leeds A, there are a few teams in front of them that are picking up penalties. Swansea have got a 4th-place penalty. I'm not sure about De Montfort B and the teams around them, but they will at least be gaining at least one position when the penalty is applied to the Swansea A kart.
Under 10 minutes to go then. Southampton A, your net leaders, even though that number 11 of Brooks C lead on the road. De Montfort A are third. Ocean Beach in the Manchester A effort is only a couple of seconds back. In fact, there he is. You just saw him coming into shot. Loughborough D in 5th don't count for points in this one. Nottingham Trent B are in 6th, with Huddersfield A in 7th. And Nottingham Trent C and Dante Dillon still hold the fastest lap of the race, by the way, a 46 dead, as there's a cone penalty for Newcastle A. That will knock them down one position as well. They're currently running in 24th place.
There's a cone penalty for Warwick A as well. We've got a fair, again, this has not been a very clean race, it has to be said. A lot of penalties coming through, a lot of warnings. But actually, to be fair, ever since Nottingham Trent got their penalty just before the black flags. But hang on, we've got what we've got here. No, sorry, they're currently the leaders, just currently lapping the 54 of Birmingham C, and importantly, Birmingham C have held up De Montfort A. Phil Craven, in fact, are still in front of them. So Phil Craven should be getting the move done now, but he has lost some valuable time in his pursuit of what is the effective net lead of the race, as Nottingham Trent C now dip below the 46ers, setting a 45.9.
Teams on the move. Sam Massey has just got up into 8th place for Cambridge A, ahead of Sam Tierney in that Huddersfield A kart, so changes there. Tom Dent in the Leeds A kart has just got past the De Montfort B kart, which is Christian Bessel at the wheel for that one. That's a change for 11th place, and the swapping of the Brooks karts, interestingly, out there. Brooks B now ahead of Brooks A over 14th place.
Hertfordshire A have also climbed up 2 places on that final lap. Should just make sure we cross all the I's and dot all the T's. Got that the wrong way around. Let's pretend that just didn't happen. Right, so Nottingham Trent B and Nottingham Trent C are running right next to each other. That is what looks to be the current closest fight on track. There's also a good gaggle of 4 karts from Huddersfield A, Swansea A, Leeds A and De Montfort B. They're having a good fight in the battle for 9th place. And then equally there is a proper good scrap between Oxford Brooks B all the way down to they're in 14th, down to 19th UEA as well. What are we seeing on the live stream? We've got the 35 going for an overtake on the 95 down to Conway's, but now Pascal Poot trying to get around down the inside of the 49. That is Trinity B, so that is lapping, but it has all brought the top 3 nice and close together. And Pascal Poot now going to the outside, but we've got a yellow flag there because Pushcart Johnny has parked himself up at
I'm not sure there was a yellow out, but I think they both played it cautiously because they don't want to get that penalty. They saw the car and decided to back out. It's probably actually quite savvy thing for them to do.
It is and
a collection there.
Well, that's significant, Howard, because Callum James has now fallen down to 3rd. So at the moment, the net lead of the race is not. The lead is now belonging to Pascal Pook, and Phil Craven is currently taking 2nd. Callum James would be falling down to 4th place, but he's trying to get down the inside of Phil Craven into Conway's and Henry's corner, and he has got that done. So he is now back into 2nd place. So he's now a net 3rd place, but Southampton A now lead outright in this race with just under 6 minutes to go.
We did see Coventry D and Warwick B came flash through shot. They're battling as well for 27th, nose to tail, all the way through. That's what it's like.
It's what we
all the way down through the field.
Can we just have a moment for the cones? Just F in the chat for them. But they are now back. They're now back. But that was a proper kill, and we just said respect to the cones. Respect to the cones.
Southampton A lead this race. Pascal Pook at the wheel. If they take this win, by the way, they're still not in contention for the round podium, in spite of the fact they'll have won 2 races. Their other results don't qualify them for that. Unfortunately, they have already had a win, but they are sat on a 21st and a 29th position other than that, so that's not going to do it.
Trent C have overtaken Nottingham Trent B in the battle for 6th place.
Got a replay here. So who's going to collect this then? It's going to be the 29, is it? But I think that's force majeure, isn't it, really?
That is.
That's not... I don't think we have seen a penalty issued, nor would I expect one to be issued.
No, nothing.
So that's fine. It was the 29 kart, wasn't it?
Yes, it was indeed. But
that was Huddersfield B, but you could see, very much force majeure.
Oh, was that a bit of rain?
It did look a little bit like it, didn't it? I can't see any out of the window for now, but potentially in the dying moments.
The lap times
they have gone down.
They're 2 seconds
working
behind
their way through the traffic.
Callum James has made. There's been a change in leadership. Callum James now leads So it's still on track. Callum James leads, but the net lead still belongs to Pascal Pook, but he's got Phil Craven right behind him. And if the rain is coming down, they're going to have to be very wary of that. It doesn't currently look like it is raining. If it is raining, it's only very light. But the general lap time trend has fallen down by a good sort of 2 seconds.
But this is the thing, now in all of this, BUKC have got ahead. And this means that Pascal Pook, coming into the dying moments of this race, is under attack again from Phil Craven. So there's a risk here that, again, he's exposed for the net lead of this race.
He's been held up massively by the 95 of Coventry D. He's now got past him. He spent a good amount of time behind the Coventry D kart. The Coventry D kart fighting back.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He won't know that this is a
No.
leader as such. He'll think this is for position, but that's maybe giving Pascal Pook and Southampton A the breathing space as Phil Craven has to be a bit bold through the S's.
He won't be happy about that.
I think he's going to be upset. But in fairness to the Coventry D driver, I don't think they're aware of the significance of what's coming through here. In the background, you can see Loughborough D has got past Manchester A, but they don't count.
Yep. I was about to say Ocean Beach could be considered for a very outside shot, but it looks like it's just a little bit too far off. That battle between Phil Craven and the Coventry D kart had, unless something drastic happens in the remaining sort of two and 3/4 minutes we've got left, that 95 Coventry D would appear to have cost Phil Craven a chance of overtaking Pascal Pook and potentially the lead of this race. There was a little gesture there from Pascal Pook as well, so maybe he's now aware that the Oxford Brook C kart has got a penalty. I don't know.
Potentially. We'll see though. 2.5 minutes just under to go then of this one. The final race for round 3. As far as we can tell here in the box, Coventry have wrapped this one up in the Prems, and provided no disasters strike, I think that Leeds A have secured the Clubman subclass. But of course, I stress that's all provisional. I don't think BUKC A are doing enough to haul themselves onto the podium either yet. But Pascal Pook, he does seem to be closing onto the back of Callum James, so not sure if he is fully aware that he's got this one in the bag.
Sorry, just to bring you back to Leeds A there, Howard. No, sorry, never mind. I was about to make a point, but things have changed. It was the Swansea A who have got a 4-place penalty were 9th. Leeds A were down 13th, so I'm not sure if they've actually benefited from a penalty at that stage, but now it's Swansea A 10th and Leeds A are 12th, so they're back in, making sure they are making up for that place.
Newcastle A just past Loughborough B for 24th. Amazing battle going on as well from 9th place downwards. Exeter B, Swansea A, Huddersfield A, Leeds A, Brooks B, Brooks A are all in a train of karts in the mid-pack as we have just about 70 seconds to go until we'll hit the bottom of the clock.
Callum James running a little bit wide out of hairpin 1, but he still maintains the lead over Pascal Pook. Phil Craven still trying his hardest to get involved with this race. He is lapping faster than the guys in front of him, but I don't think it's enough with just this. We might get 2 more laps out of this, but I think this will be we'll be coming on to the last lap when they next cross the line, which I'll have to wait and see. In fact, the time's just all of a sudden changed to make this the last lap, or is it? No, it's not.
We're going to go around twice more.
We're getting one more. So Phil Craven could have a shot at getting back involved with...
it has been called last lap. So that will have gone out on the board. Our camera looks up the straight rather than down the straight, if you will, so we won't have seen the last lap board, but they'll be aware, these drivers, and there is traffic ahead as well. Now, Pascal Pook, what Pook doesn't want to do is, if he's not aware of the penalty to be attributed, as Leeds have just dropped down significantly, our clubhouse leaders in the Clubmans, to 15th place. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Now, this is the thing. If Pascal Pook messes up a move here that allows through Phil Craven, he's going to have inadvertently thrown away the win here. As far as we can tell, up the hill they're going to come. Then to finish the final race, it's going to be Callum James for BUKC. But as far as we're aware, from penalties to be applied, Pascal Pook, we believe, will be classified overall as the winner of that one for Southampton A. Closes out a very strong finish to the round for Southampton. Look out for them maybe this afternoon. Can they carry that momentum? Remember, we're not changing formats. De Montfort A in 3rd, Loughborough D in 4th. 5th will be Manchester A. 6th for Nottingham Trent C. 7th Cambridge A, Nottingham Trent B, Exeter B and Swansea A round out the top 10. Huddersfield A, Brooks B, De Montfort B, Brooks A
and Leeds A finish in 15th. You carry on down the order, mate. I'm going to check that confirms them for Clubman's.
16th place to Leeds B then, so it was an all Leeds 8th row in the finish. UEA 17th with Aston A in 18th, Hertfordshire A 19th, Bath B 20th. Warwick A then lead on from 21st down, so it's Warwick A 21st, then Oxford Brooks D, Newcastle A, London South Bank A, Brighton A, Loughborough B, Loughborough B, Trinity B, Warwick B, Coventry D, Huddersfield B, Birmingham C, Bournemouth A, Cambridge B, and last place is Nottingham Trent A.
There we go then, and I'm just double checking my sums here. I want to stress how provisional this all is. But I'm going to say that we think that Leeds A have taken this one in Clubman's. I will say I am not the usual operator of the spreadsheet of doom, ladies and gentlemen, so I say that very provisionally. They've certainly had a very strong round. We've seen them battling away throughout the day, so we think that they've taken that. I'm going to just have a look and see whether Brooks A... Where did Brooks A finish in the end, mate?
Remember, Brooks
penalties
A,
to be applied, of course.
There are a lot of penalties to be applied for this one, so we'll wait and see when we have a live result.
We will.
And also, it should be pointed out that with Leeds A finishing 15th, Swansea A will they'll be demoted down to they'll be demoted down to 14th. So Leeds A won't benefit from the demotion for Swansea, but I don't think that will have any bearing on the Clubman result. Just checking race 6 on Alpha Live results. If you want to check out all
that's
of
fine. So I think we can say as well that Coventry A definitely have wrapped it up.
Yep.
So we believe another round victory for Coventry. With, at the moment, by our maths, we think it's Nottingham A and Loughborough A who have got onto the podium. Haven't got the official confirmed results for race 6 though, and there were a fair amount of penalties, so I do stress how provisional that is. But don't worry, we'll confirm everything for you as we come into the afternoon's running. I mean, obviously we're already in the afternoon, but we'll be back with round 4 after a bit of a break. So for the confirmed results, make sure you head over to results.alphatiming.co.uk/BUKC. That is the place to go for all of the official results. But provisionally, at least, we say congratulations to Coventry A and Leeds A, we believe, who have wrapped up the Clubmans there for round 3. Don't go well, actually, you are allowed to go somewhere. We're going to have a bit of a break now, but we will be back with round number 4 in a very short time. I think there's going to be a bit of a break around the circuit for the marshals and everybody just to get a bite to eat. We are going to move over to a new stream for round 4. So if you're watching on Facebook, just probably stay on the page that you're on and you're going to see round 4 pop up as a stream. If you're on YouTube, just click on the channel that you're watching this on, click on Alpha Live, and the link to the live stream will be right there for you. Please, 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 if you're enjoying what you're seeing today, and why would you not be, give this a like, a share, a subscription, whatever it is that you're able to do on the social media. Let's get people talking about hashtag BUKC 2020. This stream has been an Alpha Live production with commentary provided by Double Dash Motorsport Media on behalf of BUKC and Club 100. Be sure to join us after a short break for round 4. See you on the other side.